Did you ever try to further improve how fast you punch people through the roof? Oh, was there ever any certain time when you thought brute force and style combined? Well, I guess now it's time to shine, 'cause finally she's here. Here comes Did you ever try to further improve how fast you punch people through the roof? Oh, was there ever any certain time when you thought brute force and style combined? Well, I guess now it's time to shine, 'cause finally she's here. Here comes mine. As a matter of fact, the best bet one has is to quickly react to the first attack that's taken for the bullets. She'll never pull back, just resist. Have you ever really wanted to be a total rebel, flipping tables on the enemy? Did you ever try to further improve how fast you punch people through the roof? Oh, was there ever any certain time when you thought brute force and style combined? Well, I guess now it's time to shine, 'cause finally she's here. Here comes She's such a misfit, always ready to brawl. It's like her business, roughing up your friends. The law, there is no difference. If you believe you're strong, she's a bulldozer, making sure you're flat on the ground. She's like a boomerang that never gives up. She flies in circles till she hits you and you're bowed in the dust. So just remember this, when she's chasing you down, face first, you'll be thrown into the proving ground. She'll knock you out. Have you ever really wanted to be a total rebel, flipping tables on the enemy? Did you ever try to further improve how fast you punch people through the roof? Oh, was there ever any certain time when you thought brute force and style combined? Well, I guess now it's time to shine, 'cause finally she's here. Here comes mine. As a matter of fact, the best bet one has is to quickly react to the first attack that's taken for the bullets. She'll never pull back, just resist. Have you ever really wanted to be a total rebel, flipping tables on the enemy? Did you ever try to further improve how fast you
Nothing but stay frosty. That son of a bitch you got is hella dangerous, over.
My name is Dante. My friend's captive.
Like routine Fnatic, I can recommend MSI.
I recommend Metal.
I recommend MSI series, that's all.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is evening here time in Tokyo, Japan. My name is William Yoshi and I'm accompanied by the lovely Mr. Corey Swanson.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Woo!
Right, so
So-
tell people what's happening
Yeah,
today.
so hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome. This is Twitch TV Japan Esports. We're here with JCG, that's Japan Competitive Gaming, for an exciting, lovely, other great adjectives Showmatch here today, international between Japan's Rascal Jester. They're the grand champions of JCG here a couple weeks ago. Going to be going up against Taiwan's very own YoeFlash Wolves. Yoe Flash Wolves. So that's what we'll have coming up for you very, very shortly here. In the meantime, we are here to get you ready. Thanks
you
for
can see
tuning
my
in.
scarf here, so let's put it down.
Yeah.
It's very embarrassing.
I think we
Let's
fixed
let-
it. It's all good.
Let's have that not on stream. But good evening, everyone. We're very excited to be here because the last time that we did this, we had a lot of problems on the Taiwan stream, unfortunately.
So are we going to be playing on the Taiwan
And
server tonight, Ferlin?
So today we are going to be playing on the Korean servers. Yay!
Woo!
So Riot has very graciously gave us a couple of accounts, tournament accounts. So it's all set up and done.
Tournament.
There's like tons of RP, tons of IP. All the champions have been unlocked and all of that. And the Taiwan team obviously have their own accounts on the Korean servers. So it's easier for us to actually play on there. So we're very excited to have that today. I has no idea why Andreas is looking at me and just what is happening?
All right, but yeah, like she said, thanks for stopping by tonight. There's a lot going on tonight, I think, in terms of League of Legends. So maybe you want to have all the streams open up on your browser. I think somebody said GPL's going on, and I think OGN's going on. But we are here too, and it should be a really, really exciting couple of games. We're doing a best of 3 this evening.
Yes.
So you have the possibility of seeing 3 games from arguably Japan's best team in Rascal Jester.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about Rascal Jester. So the previous games that we did, it was actually with Destination Focus Me, and that was they don't want to, they can't comply with the time and schedule for today, and so not with the TFM unfortunately, but we have another super team, one that actually beat DTFM very recently, pretty convincingly as well, and it will be Rascal Jesters, previously known as Peach Server All Stars. They're not a new team at all in Japan, but they have revamped themselves. They have renamed their team, and it's such a big facelift for them.
Yeah,
It's
it seems to be
worked
working.
so well. so well for them, and obviously at the front line of Rascal Jesters will be Mr. Upperman.
Upperman in that mid lane, he's been playing extremely well over the past month and a half. Look for him to maybe try and continue that domination against a YoeFlash Wolves team, who we'll talk about in a second, but have made a few roster changes themselves. But before we get into that, I do think you're right. Upperman, being the mid laner for Rascal Jester, is really the cohesive glue that holds this team together. We've seen, good play, I think, out of RKP from the AD carry position for Rascal Jester as well. We'll talk about all the players, I think. But really keep your eyes in the mid lane on Upperman, because his Orianna, for one thing,
Oh
is
yeah,
something
I
we've seen
mean,
a
I
lot.
think everybody
And-
loves Upperman's Orianna, but we can't take away props to Mr. RKP because he's been
Right.
playing so well on his AD carry. I mean, previous games that we saw with DTFM just last week,
Yeah,
right?
it was last week.
Just last week
did Premier
in the
League.
Premier League, and it's they got completely stomped. Like they completely stomped DTFM because one thing is that Gorio13, who was in the top lane, actually moved down to AD carry and the AD carry role, and the AD carry role from Mr. Uniport is moved up to top lane. And the second game as Dr. Mundo, he actually dominated the lane quite convincingly because Shyvana on the other side decided not to go with a tanky Shyvana, but instead started with the Blade of Ruin King. And so Uniport won his lane, but I think Gorio13 is so not used to the AD carry role that he only played Lucian in both games, but didn't manage to carry at all. So yeah, but let's talk a little bit about. Are we trying to find a game?
Yeah, we're
Let's
just
see what
waiting for it.
Yoe, the coach, is
Yeah,
saying.
no,
Did you
we're
say
just we're
it?
just saying hi.
Oh,
We're
you're saying hi. We're
you know we're
fine,
making
yeah.
sure everybody's friendly. It is a kind of a friendly show match.
It
so
is a friendly show match.
we're all in good spirits here tonight. But yeah, what can you tell us about the Yoe Flash Yoe Flash
Yoe
Wolves?
Flash Wolves.
You got anything for us?
I want to ask
Other than
what's
other
happening
than they have
with
a
them.
fantastic, a beautiful top laner in Stake. Who, those of you might remember seeing him at the Worlds playing for the Gamania Bears, which that is basically the Yoe Flash Wolves, came from the former Gamania Bears, who were in the Season 3 World Championships, disbanded the Gamania Bears and reformed as the Yoe Flash Wolves. Kept,
Yeah.
what, 4 members from the Gamania
Four
Bears?
members from the original Gamania Bears, and I think one of the biggest change that they had was with Mr. Wins. He left the team. I think he's now in the Taipei Snipers, and so Wins is not there anymore. And Refrain was actually moved from the jungle to the mid lane because their previous mid laner Maple.
Not old enough to play League
Yeah,
of Legends.
Yeah, Maple Fengtang is no longer with. Well, he's still with the team. He's a substitute because he's
Right.
only 16 years old, and because the Flash Wolves actually got into the GPL season because they were top 4 in the LNL winter season, and so they are qualified for the spring season of the 2014 GPL. And so because Maple is not old enough to be a part of the team, he's now as a substitute, and they've got this new player called Mountain,
Right.
also known as 坐山客, yeah. So it's a big shame because it happens a lot in League of Legends. You know, you have Fnatic's Reckless who just joined the team, huge impact on the team. You have Bjergsen before. He couldn't join Ninjas in Pajamas for the first couple of games. He came in, dominated the games completely. So it's a huge shame, but I'm looking forward to see how Mountain.
Yeah,
AKA
it'll definitely be interesting because Maple is such, or I guess was, such a strong force for the Yoe Flash Wolves, really doing a lot for that team as well. Actually, one of the first, well, maybe not the first, but one of the early Lulu mid, which is something we've been seeing a lot of recently in Korea, solo queue all over the world. So that was something that kind of Maple was one of the first people to really bring that to the mid lane. But today it will be Refrain in the mid lane. Hey, that's going to be fun to say. With Mountain coming in to fill in that jungle position, and I have not seen a lot out of Mountain. So
private games.
it'll be. Oh yeah, I just need to check. There we go. Just making sure we can find our games here today.
Yeah, I don't think the room's been created yet
But-
because the players are still slowly getting into the game. Because I think it's really early, even in Taiwan or in Japan. I think most of the players are still trying to get their back home. I mean, in Taiwan it's like 6:30 now, so.
Right. So it's balancing work and life, especially with some of these teams, especially with like a team like Rascal Jester, Japan, not the biggest League of Legends esports hotbed in the world. These are players who have responsibilities. They go to school, they go to work. You know, we go to work, we come here and do this as well. So getting everybody together is a very, very exciting event.
I just
And
wanna
so
see
we
what the
are
coach is
excited to
saying.
be here as well.
I'm not. Oh yeah.
But we are about to get that underway, so thanks for tuning in. For those of you just joining us, you're confused as to what's going on. This is JCG, that's Japan Competitive Gaming, kind of your source for competitive League of Legends here in Japan. Looking at an international show match tonight with Rascal Jester from Japan and Yoe Flash Wolves from Taiwan, a very, very strong team. Will be a really good chance for the Japanese team, Rascal Jester, to kind of see where they are, measure up against other really good teams all throughout the world. So those of you not super familiar with the Japan League of Legends scene, Rascal Jester did take the Grand Championship last month here for JCG, beating out 3 other teams, and that was Vec, formerly... why am my mind blanking?
But sorry, I'm
On
trying to locate my League of Legends on this computer.
You can't find it. Uh-oh.
I can't find it.
All right. Well, Detonation FM, Ozone Rampage, and Vec were the other 3 teams competing in the Grand Championship, and Rascal Jester did a pretty convincing job of taking home that championship. They're now actually currently in the JCG League as well. We did Premier League with them last week, and like Ferlin said, they kind of put the beating to Detonation FM, who I think for a long time was considered maybe the top team or the team to beat in Japan. So Definitely one of Japan's stronger teams. It'll be very interesting to see how they face up against this really strong Taiwanese YoeFlash Wolves team. So we are getting the room created now.
The room was just created.
Yep. So we're gonna jump in there. Stick around as we make sure we're like really frazzled, but we're doing it. We're gonna get everything ready to go. Bear with us. I want to look at this is interesting. Okay. All right. So it's Thursday here in Japan, and we're going on 7:45 on a Thursday evening. It's very, very cold outside here. Maybe not to your standards, but Japan, the buildings are really cold here. So it was about a high of 5 degrees outside today, and I think we're gonna make sure we have everything good to go here. What's new with you, Ferlin? Anything special?
Happy belated Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, that was last week.
That was last week, but we haven't seen these guys in a while, so happy belated Valentine's Day. I hope you guys had a fun, exciting Valentine's Day. I spent my Valentine's Day at home with the beta for Titanfall. So it was fun, because I've been wanting to try out Titanfall for a really long time.
You've been playing it all weekend?
No, I played it just on Valentine's itself Friday, because Saturday we had to do the stream, and
How
on
romantic.
Sunday... Yeah, it's super romantic to be killing robots.
Happy
Titans,
Valentine's Day!
And just like spraying everyone. Yeah, that's very romantic for sure.
Well, that's exciting.
Give me a second, guys.
Are you alright?
I'm trying
Just
to
making sure everything's okay?
I'm good. I'm just trying to find the file. Actually, I can't find the Korean file.
Berlin lost League of Legends.
Well, this is not my computer.
Yeah, so that's the thing. We are, I think we mentioned it earlier, but we're going to be playing on the Korean server tonight, simply because in the past we've had some issues trying to connect to the Taiwan server, and Taiwan going to the NA server is always kind of iffy as well. So the compromise we've kind of reached is that we're going to have both teams play here today on the Korean server, which I know from Japan has about a 50 to 60 millisecond ping, which is a lot better than the 120 to 100 and 40 ping that we usually get to the NA servers.
Yeah.
Did I say something funny? Andreas is looking at me like I'm stupid.
Yeah, I think it's so much better for us in Japan to play on the Korean server. But obviously, not everybody can play on the Korean server because you need to have your security. Was that?
It's the Korean social security number or a foreigner identification
number. So if you don't have that, you can't get an account. But obviously, we got our accounts from Riot.
Thanks, Riot.
So thank you very much, Riot. And we're gonna have that here. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of problems on it because it's pretty standard. There's not much. I can't find a damn file.
Well, keep looking. I'm sure it's there for Lynn. So
Am I retarded? I think I'm a little bit retarded because I can't find it.
have you tried looking under League of Legends? No? Okay. Well, we'll get that figured out.
No, it's no. I'm not that stupid.
Starts with an L. If you guys in chat could maybe spell that out for her. But yeah, we played the Premier League on the Korean server last week, and it went pretty well. I've been playing some solo queue on the Korean server myself over this past week. I borrowed an account from a friend, and honestly, I've not had a whole lot of fun. I had a Mundo on my team kill me about 3 times.
Wait, what?
By bringing zillion bombs over to me.
Desktop.
As Aish. Thanks, Mundo. Real appreciated. Like, actually running at me. Are you finding it? Desktop. Double click.
Gamer.
Yep.
Huh?
The right side of the desktop. Wait, what?
See? I'm not the crazy one.
LOL. Oh, LOL Korea? Room. Okay, yeah. I'm in the. Okay. Haha, woo! Try this. Ready? Here we go. Start button. LOL.
Oh.
Bounce.
Oh my god.
This is. Oh, man.
I found it, guys. I have found it. Okay, we are good to go.
And if you're following along in chat, we do have the lovely, fantastic Rapid Casting. He actually spelled it out for you. So, Just
It is not.
do you have it? Do you wanna do
ladies
this?
and gentlemen, I can spell
L
League of Legends.
E
I can do it.
A G.
Well, I'm in the server. I'm good. I am fantastic. Oh wait, you're using my account.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. It was on here.
Oh god. Do you remember your account?
Like my Korean one?
Oui, oui.
My Korean, like the non-Riot one, because I can probably find it.
It's fine.
No, I can get this. I got it. We're
No,
gonna
no,
make
the one
this
that I
work.
gave you like a couple days ago.
I don't know what you gave me.
Oh no, this is bad. I can't find it.
Are you just laughing? This is so. For those of you in the chat, you might notice Karga popping up. He's our wonderful stream manager, and he is just kind of laughing his head off hysterically at us over here. So I don't know.
Do you remember?
Oh, it's an interesting creep story. Do I remember?
Is it on your like?
Show messages from 1,000 days ago.
Yeah.
Ferlin Yosh. I don't even remember what day that was.
Saturday,
Can you
like the day
stream?
after.
This is so not what we're supposed to be doing on stream.
No, we're not.
Hi, everybody. Just ignore, pretend like this never happened. We're super awesome here at JCG.
Okay, well, while Corey tries to find
You
his
talk.
account that he's using on my account right now, I shall fill in the blank. I'm sorry, I'm still a little bit frazzled. It's Thursday. I'm very excited for Friday because, you know, Friday's Friday, but I'm working throughout the complete weekend because unlike some of you guys who work Mondays to Fridays, I work from Mondays to bloody Sundays.
Bloody Sundays.
Bloody
What happens on
Sundays.
Sundays?
So I do a lot of TV stuff, and so this Sunday I have one last TV filming for the month. I'm so excited to get this all done, and then like filming resumes again in March and April. But yes, but today we have Yoe, Flash Wolves, and Rascal Justice. I don't know if there's a highlight point I want to really bring out for you guys in terms of which lane or which role that we want to really focus on. But if I were to say anything, I would say let's just take a look at mid lane, because it is going to be Refrain that's moved on from jungle to mid lane, and Upperman, who's such a big player for the Rascal Jester. And because Refrain just moved out from jungle to the mid lane, I honestly, to be honest, I haven't really seen myself how he's doing in the mid lane, and haven't even seen the new player yet, Mountain.
Yeah, I think the Flash Wolves are currently sitting at 1 and 2 on the season, but both of their losses have come to pretty strong teams, so I don't think it's really anything to scoff at. And here we are. I'm in, so you can get on yours, and we should have everything ready to go. I think the Korean client just told me I have to be at least 12 years old to play League of Legends.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Are you 12 years old yet?
I
I don't know
I hope
that.
so.
I don't know that.
I
I'm
hope
not
so.
very sure.
So, but yeah, so we are here with JCG. Excuse me, I can't talk. I was going to say this is the English stream. It might turn into the gibberish stream if things go poorly. If you want to check out the Japanese stream, if you want to check out some League of Legends in Japanese, Karga posted the link in chat, but it's twitch.tv/JCGLOL. So you feel free to check that out, but stay here with us too. We love having you around. I promise.
Yeah, so 如果有台湾朋友们，大家好，晚上好，我是 Ferlin 有戏迷，旁边的是 Corey Swanson。我们今天晚上8点，不知道，台湾时间7点开始会直播YoeFW闪电狼跟我们日本的 Rascal Justice 的表演赛是 BO3 的。然后今天有玩的是 Top Lane 的是牛排 ，Jungle 是做商客 Mountain。在 mid lane 是东东 Refrain，and AD carry 是 NL，support 是 Sword Art 蛇蛇。然后我们日本的队伍是 Rascal Justice。Top lane is I have no idea what the top lanes.
Arfode.
I can't
Arfode.
pronounce. Can you pronounce it?
I keep pronouncing it as Afrode, but it's not. It's Arfode.
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 Top
R
lane
before
是
F.
Arfode, and in jungle it will be jungle 是 Rainbrain，mid lane 是 Upperman。 AD carries the Lily Belt and sorry, AD carries the RKP, and in support, it's the Lily Belt. Do you pronounce this Low Belt or Lily Belt?
I call him Lil Belt.
Low Belt? Okay, let's just say Low Belt. It's fine.
But who knows? So some of you asking on stream, when's the game gonna start? Hopefully soon.
Can you create the room?
Yeah. Do you want me to create it?
Yeah, Matsujun-san wants you to create the room.
I can do that. Last option. I will be fluent in Korean by the end of this.
Isn't that good?
It's probably good. Let's see if this works. Room is created. So hopefully that'll work out. So we will be underway very, very shortly as soon as we can gather all of the members, stick them in the same place. We're going to get the picks and bans underway. Yeah, I don't know. What else is happening around here?
Oh yeah,
See,
Ryan
look,
is telling
12.
me 12 years old.
You must be
I'm
12.
12 years old to play the damn game.
You were so angry today,
I am.
Ferlin.
I just, you know.
Like, don't ever feed Ferlin pizza because apparently it makes her angry. Who knew?
Yep, I had pizza today. My producers were telling me I'm gaining weight, and then I ate pizzas. It's my life. It's what I do. But yes, not JCG producers. No. TV producers. You know, because the camera adds 10 pounds, and I'm a small Asian person. So, but we will be starting the game in roughly 5-10 minutes. I hope so, because
Yeah.
we're just waiting for the teams to flow into the game, really. Yoe is there? Can you join?
I don't know. Can they?
Can you tell me
Yeah, it's
you can type it on Skype.
it's the magic words. You can find this.
I can.
You can
no,
find
I'm
this.
just trying to tell the.
I mean, I did. All right. So.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
See, I'm on top of things. It's been a really long day. I worked all day. I'm getting a cold, and I'm still super excited to be here because Japanese League of Legends is pretty awesome. So I'm excited to see what goes down tonight. Yeah, that was Ferlin speaking Chinese earlier. I don't know what she says, so I wing it. We do it, but we are getting. Were you figuring it out?
Yes, I figured it out.
All right. So this is JCG, Japan Competitive Gaming, an international show match tonight between the Yoe Flash Wolves from Taiwan and Japan's very own Rascal Jester. I just realized we did it at the very beginning of the stream, but here for JCG with you tonight is me, Corey Swanson. Very nice to be here with you, and this is the lovely Ferlin Yoshimi. If you want to stalk us, you can find our stuff underneath the stream, but we're here for League of Legends. Please be nice to Karga in chat. He's over there monitoring all of you, putting you on our JCG watch list. Another special shout out to Rapid Casting as well. I don't know when you ever sleep, Rapid, but we appreciate you always being around.
Yeah, real big shout out to Rapid. Reed is always really cool. He's always really busy. I mean, he just did I think Dan was doing the NACL today because I watched it a little bit, so it was really nice. Because I haven't seen Rapid or Rapid or Dan Egat since I am Singapore, and really excited because I will be going to IM Katowice.
Yay!
I will be present at IM Katowice. I'm just going there as a spectator, really, just to meet a couple of people, and to go see the CS:GO competition as well, because there's a CS:GO competition by Valve.
Yeah,
It's a
I hear the CS:GO players are really, really cool.
They are really, really cool. There's a $250,000 cash prize for the EMS Katowice.
Can you put me in your suitcase? And
I can
take me
try.
with?
I can definitely try.
You're gonna have to bring a big suitcase, but also, can I spectate this game, or are you gonna sit here?
I'm gonna spectate it.
Well, then how am I gonna spectate it?
Are you not spectating? Okay, then I'm gonna get out.
Da da da.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Corey and myself.
All right.
Being complete, just not sure what the hell is going on. But
That's not true. We know what we're doing. All the time.
Hopefully.
All right, so we are actually getting the players into the room, just about ready to start with the picks and bans phase.
We are just waiting for Mountain, actually. Mountain and one of the other RJ people. Just a lot of YoE players actually.
Yeah, I think who is I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out. Just making sure everybody's in here. That's going to be confusing. We'll have to get you the names. Most of the players are playing on accounts with correct names, so you will be able to keep track of who is doing what player. But until that happens, we will keep you in the know as well.
Yes. So if you guys want to Mandarin， 我们比赛会这样5到10分钟中会开始，我们再等1-2个队员来参加那个游戏。我们今天玩的是台湾的队伍 YoeFW 闪电狼跟日本的队伍 Rascal Jester。我们今天玩的是 BO3 Best of 3 Series。So if you guys you want to check out the Japanese stream, 日本語
どこ行けばいいでしょうか。
日本語の配信もやってますので、どこ行けばいいんですかね。
それは twitch.tv/JCG LOL そこ行けば誰が今日配信してますか。それリオシルバーさんが
です。Yes.
やってるんですよね。
今日の日本語配信は、ベクの、ミッドレーンのリオシルバーさんが実況します。で、解説の方と、MC の方は、JCG の松潤さんがやりますので、ぜひ twitch.tv/JCG ロルの、チャンネルでいてください。よろしくお願いします。Alright, so just waiting for one person?
Yeah, we have to make sure everybody's on the right side.
Uh-huh.
Because I believe Rascal Jester wants to play with a full roster of Rascal Jester players, and the Flash Wolves would actually like to use all of their players on their own team as well.
Okay.
So
makes a lot of sense.
You know,
yes.
maybe in one of these next matches we can do a mix-up, but today it will be RJ versus Yoe Flash Wolves.
Yes. I'm actually really excited for this game because in the Japanese scene is actually really small. If there's one standout right now, it is the Rascal Jester and all the Okinawa no Tora.
Yeah,
I think these two teams are just so strong in the Japanese scene right now. I wouldn't compare them to any other scene. Okay, don't take my words for like, oh my god, no. I'm just saying in the Japanese scene, they are one of the top teams right now because it's really hard for the Japanese scene. You know, they're still growing. We're waiting on the servers. We are growing.
Soon.
But Rascal Jesters have been showing really good games recently. Either that or DTFM and Rampage are just doing really badly.
I don't think you can take that away from RJ. RJ has just been looking really strong in just about everything they do. And then, like you said, we're not showing them today, but the Okinawa Tora, the Okinawa Tigers, have kind of burst onto the scene as well. Absolutely dominating all over the place as well. And that only brings good things to the Japanese League of Legends scene. You know, if you want to say maybe Rampage, maybe Detonation FM aren't playing to the top of their game, well, maybe that's what they need in terms of a wake-up call. More competition is always a good thing, and I think as we continue to go with such strong teams now coming into the scene, everybody's just going to get better. Everybody's going to benefit.
Yeah, and I think the main problem that Rampage and or DTFM is facing right now is I think the roster changes and just a lot of pressure for them because, you know, with the LJL League, they're coming down like once a month maybe to Tokyo.
Yeah, a little bit busier now.
And also, the weather in Japan has been really bad the last couple weeks. It's been snowing a lot more. A lot of flights, transportation problems, and so, but it's no excuse for the team to be doing so badly, especially with DTFM. They played Rascal Jesters, the team that's playing tonight, just a couple days ago, and completely stormed out. They completely showed that they had no synergy, especially in the bot lane, where Goro 13 just moved from top lane to AD carry. Played Lucian in both games. He didn't perform at all, and it's very worrying for their team considering they have good sponsors coming from that team. 你们听不到我的声音吗？会很小声吗？还是很大声？听不到，大声，小声，什么？
Yes.
你们如果听不到我的话，你们要跟我讲。They said they can't hear me very well for the Chinese Taiwan viewers. Which is
Fairland's voice being small?
I know, right?
Well, then something is definitely wrong.
That is true. My
because
voice
if your
is
ears aren't bleeding, Fairland is not talking. Sorry, that was kind of rude.
That's fine.
Love ya.
Aw. No, my mom always really loud. I don't need mics to be honest. Just now before the stream started, I completely forgot to put my mic on. And I'm like, yeah,
You can still hear her.
you can still hear me. So yes, 那是你的问题吧
Yeah,
这样子
just let us know if there's a problem. Sometimes our soundboard gets a little wonky and likes to mix things up. So, but Rapid can hear you perfectly. So we're gonna call that a win. As we do finally have all the members assembled, so we should be jumping into picks and bans here any second. Whoo! I'm already getting excited.
Am I gonna add you?
Oh yeah, my name is this very strange name. Got it? Great. My level 9 Korean account. I don't even know what this count is, but it's using the cool bear icon, which is obviously the best icon in League of Legends. If there were a competition, it would be that bear.
Yes.
You think it's stupid, but that's obviously the best icon.
I can honestly tell you right now that I did not hear a single word you just
All
said.
right. Well, then there's decided. We have now decided the best icon in LoL. If you have a different favorite icon in LoL, go ahead, post it in the chat, and you know.
I was already looking at the
She
games.
zones in.
I
Really
zone out a lot because I have to see a lot of stuff that's happening right now. So I zoned out for a second. My apologies. 如果你们刚参加的话，我们现在日本时间8:10左右会开始玩我们的日本跟台湾的表演赛，是台湾的队伍闪电狼跟日本的队伍 Rascal Jester. Okay.
Yes.
All right, I think we are going into game really soon. Just let them know that we are ready to go.
Excuse me. Okay, yeah. We are ready to go. Well, that worked. No, it didn't.
If you guys want to know what the lineup is today, it is going to be in top lane for let's talk about Yoe first. Okay, Yoe top lane is going to be Stake. In the jungle, it will be the new jungle Mountain. In the mid lane, it will be Refrain, who just moved from jungle to mid lane. In AD, it will be NL, and support will be Sword Art.
Yeah, so on the other side, for Rascal Jester in the top lane, it will be Arfode. Arfode 1. I'm going to try really hard to not call him Afro, because it is Arfode. Arfode 1. In the jungle, it's going to be Rainbrain. In the mid lane, it'll be Apamen. RKP is going to be doing the AD carry position, and Little Belt will be rounding it out in the support position for Rascal Jester. So it should be pretty easy to follow most of these. Some of the Yoe Flash Wolves have names who I don't know who they are, but we'll figure that out hopefully when they make their picks. So
yeah, I think we can just call them whatever we want to call them.
just
call them whatever we want to call them.
This is that guy, and that is this guy. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work.
Nope. Yeah, so previously we played before with the Yoe Flash Rules just a month ago, and we played on the Taiwan server, but because we are connecting from Japan, and I think there was a lot of problems with the Taiwan servers at that point of time.
Yeah, we were hitting like 500 ping leg
400,
spikes.
yeah,
like
it was a 440 ping.
Not playable, really, so...
It's really not playable, and so we are going to be playing on the Korean servers today. That's why we have a little bit of a delay, because we can't read Korean. I can read English, Mandarin, Japanese. I do not speak Korean at all. And so, well, and we're just trying to figure out, you know, the buttons and everything. Like,
they're all in the same places.
They're all in the same places, which is a good thing.
But you never realize how much you just kind of rely on that until you have to use it in a different language, and then all the buttons are gone. So
I think we are ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. After all this time of waiting, we're just about to go into game. This is going to the JCG International Show match between Japan's JCG Grand Champions, Rascal Jesters, and the Taiwan team, Yoe Flash Rules. It is going to be a best-of-3 series, and we're just about to go into game 1. Not yet. Completely not yet. I'm just like, I'm ready. I'm ready for this. Nope, not yet. The teams are saying, no, let's start, but no one is actually pressing the go button as of yet. Are you supposed to press the button?
I don't have the button. It's out of my hands.
I thought you're the one who
It's
created
nope,
the
nope.
thing.
Look, that little trophy
Okay.
is the creator. Well, not the creator, but see, here we go. All right.
Alright, we are going to go into bans and picks. It will be on the blue side, YoeFW Wolves, and on the red side, it will be Rascal Justice. Alright. I'm gonna see from your computer because I don't have it on my computer.
That's not true, Ferlin.
That's not true? Apparently, Rascal Justice is going to be on the blue side instead.
Oh.
I was lied to. Okay, let's just go into bans and pick. The first ban coming out will be Elise and Lee Sin. No big surprise that I am surprised with the Lee Sin ban, considering this is coming from Yoe. I would think that it would ban something that's a little bit more on the meta, on the point of meta, but they are going to ban the Lee Sin out. Maybe they're seeing Rascal Justice, Rain Brain play Lee Sin.
Right. I was gonna say, if you've been watching any of Rascal Jester lately, we've seen a lot of Rain Brain on that Lee Sin, and playing some pretty good Lee Sin as well. So, not a bad choice to take that away.
Yeah, and the second ban coming out is going to be the Kazakhs. It's a rather on the point pick as well, and the Kasten coming out. So nothing too surprising here, to be honest with you. But on the other hand, it's Japan's first time playing on such a low ping as well. So I don't know if they really want to play something like a Lee Sin. Obviously, it's banned out now. Thresh is getting banned out. I'm really sad with what Riot did with Thresh. They nerfed his auto attack distance, and it kind of get a little. When the patch came out, I tried it straight out, and I got a huge shock because I was never used to having such a short.
Having to get so close, a
Having
whole
to
other
get so
25
close.
units.
Yes.
Oh man.
Still. And the last ban coming out will be the Yasuo. No big surprise in the picks, the bans yet. But first pick coming out will be the Vi. This is something that's not completely out of the box for Japanese players.
No, we see a lot of Vi.
Vi is the top jungler pick for all Japanese teams, to be honest with you. So it's either banned or it's definitely going to be top priority pick. And for the YoeFW rules, we're going to see Refrain on that Gragas.
Yeah, all they got to do is lock it in, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a Gragas at all. He's definitely, I would say, a top 3 mid lane pick right now. Just so much he brings to the table. The huge AoE damage. He's got the ability to roam using that body slam as well. So just a really, really strong pickup. And Renekton, again, Stake, that's a champion he knows. He loves to play. We've seen Stake play it before, even here when we were up against Detonation FM. You can nerf the Crocodile, but he's not going anywhere because we still see him just about every game.
Yeah, well, they're not going to lock in that Gragas here, but I think it's going to be locked in for sure.
Bam.
Yes, he will be. So the Gragas pick very early on is good in the sense that, he can either go mid or jungler. If it's going to be really hard counter in mid, he can always opt to go for the jungle Gragas. It's not that viable anymore. It was very viable, I would say, 2 or 3 months ago. But now there's so much more to be added to jungle, and we have seen top lane Gragas as well. Soas played top lane Gragas, and he doesn't really like it that much because AP Gragas top lane is going to be bullied out a lot. And so I do think this is going to be a mid lane Gragas. On the other side, we do have the Leona and Lulu. Lulu is such a huge AP mid thing coming out right now. I am not convinced by the Lulu mid champ, to be honest with you. A lot of pro players have been playing it. You have seen it everywhere in the Korean scene, in the NALCS, and EU LCS. It's everywhere right now. And we do have Sivir as well. I am really surprised Sivir got all the way to that low on the party picks rating, because a lot of the teams right now do want that Sivir as their top pick for the AD carries. The hunt is so strong right now.
Right. So, and I mean, it's a good pickup by YoeFW Wolves because that's one of RKP's favorite champions as well. I like what they did here, though. Leona gets picked, and they come back with the Sivir, the Spell Shield, who's going to be able to maybe stop some of that Leona. And if she does get close, the Alistar. We saw this last weekend in the JCG League as well. Or maybe, I don't know when we saw it. But we talked about this, just like the disengage coming from that Alistar, especially against the Leona, is just going to be so strong. I really like that pickup here by the YoeFW Wolves.
Yeah. 如果你们在想的话，慧云是做三克 ，so mountain 是有位闪电狼的慧云是 mountain 做三克，然后 PHX01 是refrain
Yeah.
Should refrain,
Yes.
对。Okay, so PH X01 is refrain, and Yoei Huiyun it is going to be mountain because they don't
Mountain.
have the updated accounts yet, so they're going to use this account. But let's look at the last two picks. It's going to be Caitlyn, Shyvana, as well as the Alistar and the Pantheon. I love the Pantheon pick. I am so in love with this champion right now. It's so strong. Everybody's playing it. Everybody's trying to learn it, especially Grand Skyfall. The ultimate for Pantheon Grand Skyfall is so viable right now. You can jump in at any time. You can really bring the fight to the other team. It's very strong. And you have the Leona. Leona is always such a safe support pick.
Safe for killing people, maybe.
It's a very safe pick, especially when you have Caitlyn as well. So Caitlyn's going to be really, really safe early game. She's going to be sniping people from really, really far away.
Right.
And you have Leona who can engage or counter engage anytime. But obviously you have Alice on the other hand that can really knock people away or knock people into a fight.
Right. So I like the pickup RKP on Caitlyn. If they are going to maybe look for an engage with that Leona, they're going to have to do a lot of chipping away first with the Caitlyn. And that's why you take Caitlyn for that range, that harassing lane, especially against the Sivir, who, at least in terms of auto attacks, does not have a very good range, is one of the shorter AD carries. And then, yeah, like you were talking about, that Pantheon. I love to see Pantheon. Between getting the buff on his stun, being able to jump to minions, and then the spirit item changes, we've just seen him explode. And like watching streams yesterday, the
Do you want to go ahead and show the summoners?
The danger of Pantheon is as soon as he hits 6, you have to play safe. You cannot extend in your lane. Does not matter where it is. As soon as somebody on your team says, "Hey, Pantheon's 6 now," all the lanes get the little danger ping that say, "Okay, don't get past the halfway part," because anytime you push out, you're in danger of getting a Pantheon from behind.
Yeah, and he's going to be really, really strong late game as well. And I do like how the Japanese team, Rascal Justice, is going to play this as well. They have Shyvana that's going to be really dominant in lane. Shyvana and Renekton is always a very interesting matchup because in top lane, Renekton usually bullies everyone out of the lane compared to any other top laners, but Shyvana has really, really strong early, mid, and late game as well. So she can definitely stand on her own. So I would say the top laners are not going to be very involved with a lot of team fights early on. And so you have Vi that's so mobile because Vault Breaker is going to be so crucial for them early game. I think Rainbrain is going to be controlling most of the fights early on. If she can get a good gang with Vault Breaker early on, it's going to be really, really good for them, especially in the mid lane. It's going to be really hard because if she misses her Vault Breaker, it's going to be really bad. If she flashes and misses a Vault Breaker, that's going to be a disaster. But you do have Gragas on the other side too, so he can definitely body slam away from any gangs that, comes in his way, as long as he has a spider senses and really understands the movement of the junglers, because nowadays junglers usually like to come into lane, and then depending on where they exit the lane, you can really understand and map out where the junglers are going from that point of time.
Right. So if we just take kind of a quick last look as we're about to jump into game here at both of these teams, is there anything that really sticks out to you? I like maybe, what do I want to say, the mobility and the disruption that the Yowie Flash Wolves are bringing. Like you mentioned, the Sivir ultimate for the mobility is huge, but you also have that Alistar ult who's going to be able to mix people up, or not Alistar, Gragas ult is going to be able to mix people up. Alistar doesn't need his ult to mix people up. So I do like that combination. However, if you do take a look over at Rascal Jester, there's a lot of kind of, I want to say, like all-in potential here, whether it's a Vi ultimate, a Shyvana Dragon on top of a whole team, or even a Leona catching an E across maybe the team, and then you get the utility out of Lulu to wild growth somebody in the middle of that and pop up a whole team. So
Yeah.
It'll be very interesting to see how these play out. I really don't know how to call a game right now.
Yeah, especially when you have Sivir on the other side with the Yowie Flash rules. On the Hunt is so strong right now, and if you ult on the Hunt, Alice is going to be rushing into your team. It's going to be really hard to stop that cow coming in. It's going to be pretty unstoppable for them. But, I do like the team setup for both sides. Both sides has really strong initiation. I would say RJ has a lot more initiation considering they have a Vi as well as a Leona. If Leona hits a solar flare, it's going to be really good for them. But YoE can escape really well. A lot of the team, the champions in YoE has escape and pills. So you have Slice and Dice coming out from Renekton, you have the Body Slam coming out from Gragas, you have On the Hunt from Sivir that can really escape the team. You have Alice that can just Body Slam away as well. The only one that doesn't really have a lot of escape techniques will be that Pantheon. But you know, I would the Japanese players definitely are not at the level of the Taiwan players yet.
Yeah, so we're going to have to see if that comes into play. I don't know. I like the damage potential out of YoeFW Wolves. If they catch somebody, that person's going to disappear. Pantheon, Sivir, Gragas.
Yeah, I mean, and you have a Lulu. I really don't like how I don't know. I don't know why everybody is so like in love with the whole Lulu pick. I'm not really very convinced with that. But we are going into the game, ladies and gentlemen. This is game 1. JCG International show match between the Taiwan team YoeFW Wolves on the red side, and on the Japanese team it will be Rascal Justice playing on the blue side. My name is Feline Yoshimi, and beside me will be Corey Swanson.
All right, so here we go. Let's get in the game. This is going to be, like you said, YoeFW Wolves, Rascal Jester running up to the middle of Summoner's Rift, and that is Korean. So if we take a look at the starting item builds, it's warding trinkets all across the map for every single player on this team. The only real difference here is going to be in the supports. Leona opting for that shield, maybe looking for a little bit of that health regen before we get the Doran shield nerfs coming in, and the early coin actually on Alistar. So maybe trying to make a little bit more money. It'll be interesting. I don't... You know, that shield says to me that as Leona, they want to get in there right away and see if they can make something happen. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe RKP and Little Belt try to cheese something to get that level 2 and take advantage of the levels. But as I say that, we do have both teams just kind of standing around both sides of the river. Not a whole lot of excitement. We are not back in the good old days of Season 2, early Season 3, where everything was decided by fights at level 1.
Yeah, I mean, this is the standard start for all the teams right now. We did see a really crazy level 1 engage with the OGN games yesterday, but we see Never Lose just going to ward that, just gonna clear that ward really easy, but because no one has the sweepers yet, so they can't get that ward down. So it really depends, because they don't know how each other plays very well, so no one is taking the sweepers, because no one really knows is anybody going to put down early ward. But we are going into the lanes right now. There's no lane swaps. It's going to be a very standard lanes. Yeah, I mean, Doran's shield is the regular start, to be honest with you, for Leona, unless you wanted to get the relic shield, which is not very viable in team plays. You would do it in solo queues, but not for team games.
Yeah, and I actually talked about that Caitlyn and Leona fast push, and it's being absolutely flipped around. Sivir doing a really good job with Alistar, keeping that lane pushed, and it looks like that's something they're going to continue to do, try and deny some of that farm from Caitlyn, and she's got to try and keep that wave from going all the way under her turret, as it has done once and looks to do again.
Yeah, and top lane is just going to be a early bashing from Arthur and Stick. Stick is going to bully out Shyvana a little bit earlier in game, so I would definitely see Renekton, Stake on Renekton having a little bit more of an early CS lead coming into the early games. Bottom lane though, we do see RKP and Little Belt getting a little bit punished right there. It's really odd though, because you would think that they would have the early game advantage in terms of the laning phase.
Yeah, but on the flip side, RKP doing a really good job of trying to pick up that farm. So it has just been a quick push strategy so far from the YoeFW Wolves, as they might actually be setting up for Pantheon here. There are no wards in the bot lane, and with the lane push so far, that allows your jungler like Pantheon doing here to come in real deep. However, Rainbrain looking to maybe set a counter gank up. He walks across a ward. Things could get messy here for both teams, as here comes Rainbrain. He's going to use his Q. He's going to be stunned up by Pantheon. Will he get out? A lot of damage coming across. Will get away from that. So YoeFW Wolves doing a really good job of seeing that gank coming and being all ready for it. Luckily for Rascal Jester, they don't lose their jungler just yet.
So the counter gang was really good, but here we go. It's not over yet.
That was a really good play out of Alistar. He does actually take a tower hit. No, that's Pantheon taking the tower, but that's what we talked about, the displacement. Maybe not so defensive. That was an offensive cow, knocking back RKP into the team, and that is going to be first blood. It goes across to Pantheon.
Yeah, you can see already Ricochet and the Boomerang doing a lot of work on RJ's members right there, and it's sort of a silly mistake coming in from RJ, to be honest with you, because you would think that, you know, the jungler is going to be sticking around a little bit longer than that, and they did it so as well, although they were going in very, very deep into the lane. But
and there you have it. We talked about this new jungler. How is it working out for YoeFW Wolves? And well, Mountain on this Pantheon already sitting at 2-0. It was a really heavy exchange in the mid lane. I don't know if Opperman just thought he had a chance to go at that, but a really good job baiting him out. As actually have a lot of action in the top lane. Stake is forced to flash away. The Ignite taking on him though, and Arfo is going to pick one back up for Rascal Jester. So after 2 early kills from the YoeFW Wolves, Afro does actually manage to pick one up back for his team. So 2 kills to 1 as we now kind of get the lanes reset. Not a whole lot. Sivir has picked up her Vamp Scepter, so that's going to help her in lane even more with the sustain coming out of Sword Art.
yeah, let's talk a little bit about what just happened just now.
Yeah.
So Pantheon had a really successful double gank. So he did gank bot already, got the successful first blood, and he rotated up to mid because of it's really a punishment of how Upperman is actually pushing his lane so much. He's pushing his lane a lot, considering that, you know, early game Lulu has a little bit more wave clear compared to Gragas, because Gragas needs level 9 to really get his barrels rolling. No pun intended. But, you know, Upperman did get a little bit of revenge for them. He did get a kill off that burnout. It's very, very, very strong. And so, yeah, I mean, that's going to be really good for Afro. I can't pronounce his name. Afro in the top lane, considering that, you know, you would think that Renekton always has an early game lead, and this is going to be really good for RJ, because they're losing lanes really, really early already. 2 kills to them.
Right, you can actually see Mountain doing a lot of good warding kind of deep into the Rascal Jester jungle, as he's going to try and pick up some of those camps as well. Pings did go down. They think they knew where he was, and sure enough, Rainbrain will find him in the jungle there, as Mountain does get to back out of that. Ping's still going down on him. He should be able to get away from that safely, but we'll see.
So that was a really, really nice ward from Rainbrain. So now they know that there's going to be a pink ward there in the river, so they're going to be able to clear that out really early. That's going to be a lot of gold coming out from Yoe. And you can see just the normal bashing coming in from the mid lane as well. The barrels are doing a little bit more work now.
Yeah, and so both of those mid laners actually picking up the Chalice. And I think so far we've just seen a lot of Gragas doing a better job of hitting those barrels, but let's take a look at this blue buff as Stake has come down. Mountain's going to be there soon as well. The ultimate actually coming out of Appaman as Stake jumps on Appaman. No mana on Lulu. She's forced to flash away from this one. And this looks like a really good play from the YoeFW Wolves, as we also have some action in the bot lane. They forced back all 3 members of Rascal Jester, and that's a pretty easy blue taken away there for the YoeFW Wolves.
Yeah, one thing to note that both mid laners and top laners have hit level 6, so they do have that ultimate ready if it's needed. But there's a lot of action going down bottom lane too.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage coming out. Neverloose is doing a lot on the Little Belt's Leona. However, RKP doing his job as well, bringing the damage back across on the Neverloose. This will be engaged by Little Belt, but RKP can't get close. The exhaust coming out from Alistar, and actually a lot of damage going down on him as well. Alistar as well getting exhausted. So 2 exhausts blown here in the bottom lane as Neverlose loses.
Gragas moves in, but doesn't manage to get the execute on to
Refrain
Leona.
looking to pick up that kill, but good reflexes. That flash coming out from Little Belt will get away from that. And all members, again, walking away with fairly low health.
Yeah, but that was a really good play from both DOA and RJ, considering that, you know, Lil Bat was very ballsy to actually re-engage onto Sivir, but Sivir had the spell shield on, but unfortunately both AD carries and the supports didn't have level 6 at that time, and so wasn't able to execute any of its strikes, but it's still good, you know. Ace no comes in and no, that's gonna execute.
Very, very close. But here will be Pantheon. Rainbrain's actually going to pick up a kill on Sword Art. And, oh, RKP going so very low to that Pantheon Q, but will walk away from it. Now, Rainbrain is going to be in trouble. If we could take a look down there as, oh, that will actually be a Ignite coming down on Rainbrain. It should be enough. Actually, it stops ticking. The potion keeps him alive. The barrel, however, will pick it up for Refrain. Wow. So as that was going on, actually, Harflode again picking up a kill in the top lane against Stake. So
yeah. So what happened was
he
did burn the Ignite onto him as well, and almost Harflode actually almost went down to the turrets as well, but unfortunately didn't go down to that. But a lot of summoners have been used, so Lulu's Flash is still out, as well as RKP's Caitlyn's Flash was also used just to get out of that Grand Skyfall coming out from Pantheon.
So that's the danger we talk about. All of a sudden you have a Spartan behind you throwing his spears at your face. In the long string of things though, it's 3 kills apiece, but the big thing there is that Yoe was able to use the momentum from that bot lane to go ahead and pick up the first dragon of the game. So it's only about 1,000 gold as we take a look at this top lane, as both of these top laners again really bashing it out. You take a look at the item builds though, Stake opting for the early pickaxe and Shyvana going for that armor. So Shyvana's been able to take a little bit of that punishment and keep dishing it out. We talked about that burnout and how much damage it does. As we see a gank here in the bot lane, RKP, you are not going to get out of this. Gets headbutted back by Sword Art, and Mountain there on Pantheon again. Mountain already at 3-0 in this game.
Yeah, Mountain is doing really, really well this game, and you can tell the skill difference between both AD carries, considering it is a Sivir going against a Caitlyn. Caitlyn has such strong early game in the sense that she has such a strong, long range. And do you want to just go into this real quick?
Well, Lilbout sees Rainbrain coming down for a possible gank, so he goes in on Never Loses Sivir, but that might not be enough as they're diving hard under the tower. Here comes Grand Skyfall from Pantheon again. Rainbrain is going to be picked up, so I don't know if that was a great engage from Rascal Jester there. They saw the bot lane so far under the turret, they thought maybe we could make something work. But Rainbrain on Vi sitting at 1-2 as we actually see some action in the top lane. Ultimates coming out from both top laners. It looks like they both will walk away from this as the bot turret actually falls with a 3-man push down there.
Yeah, like I was mentioning before, that Caitlyn is actually losing a lot considering that she has such a long range, and Sivir has one of the shortest range in terms of AD carries. She does have a lot of skill sets to really wave clear early on, but to be able to have more CS compared to a Caitlyn so early in a game, especially if you have a Alistar as a support and on the other side it's a Leona, it's not spelling very good for RJ right now.
Right. So one thing we've talked about in the past with Rascal Jester is they do really well when their jungler Rainbrain does really well, and right now, if you're putting your money on who's being the better jungler, Mountain doing a fantastic job. Looks like he might actually be looking for a gank in this top lane. There is a ward down here for Arfode, but it won't even matter as Mountain looks like this should be an easy kill. The flash comes out, the stun, however, will land, and that's a 5-0 Pantheon. If Pantheon is scary to begin with, a 5-0 Pantheon is not something you want to deal with. He's already got a Spirit of the Elder Lizard, the cooldown boots, and is only going to go from there. Take a look. Sitting already, getting close to a 5,000 gold.
Yeah,
nobody on Rascal Jester even has 4,000 yet. So.
Yeah, so it's going to be really hard for them to shut down. They really need to shut down that Pantheon, and that shutdown goal needs to go to either Apperman or RKP, especially for RKP right now because he's 0-2 for 1. And on the other side, even though Sivir doesn't have any kills at all, she has 3 assists on the board already. So bot lane is doing really well in terms of getting assists because bot lane has been getting the most action in terms of jungle ganks.
Yeah, so like you said, those 3 assists to an 0-2-1 RKP on Caitlyn. In addition, it was about a 20 farm, RKP picking some up now, but that translates into a big item difference. Only the BF sword for RKP's Caitlyn. Sivir already has that Bloodthirster and starting to farm it. So she's just going to continue to get more and more ahead until RKP is able to pick up Bloodthirster of his own.
And you can tell the bot lane already. This, ooh, the Solar Flare comes in, but the Solar Flare doesn't come in. The stun comes in, but managed to catch anything from that. But you can tell already, Sivir and Alistar are not afraid of the Rainbane's Vi. They are continuing to push. They do not care if junglers around or not around at all. And this is really a showcase of how strong Pantheon is, or Mountain is as a jungler compared to Rainbane on Vi, because but Vi does come in.
We do see the engaged Lulu and Vi coming down. They both walked over wards, however, but that will be a kill going over to Rascal Jester. Sivir goes down. Sword Art looks to go down as well. Very interesting play from the Flash Wolves. That was actually pinged out. Mountain was in the area with Pantheon, and Refrain could have come down on that Gragas, but I don't know if they just decided maybe they thought they could outplay, sitting at an item advantage, sitting at a CS advantage to outplay that. But Sivir goes down, Alistar goes down. Unfortunately, that kill on Sivir went across to Leona.
Yeah, as I just said before, I just said it that they're not scared of Vi at all, and Vi actually comes in and managed to get 2 assists off of that. It is very sad because I would hope for RKP to get a double kill off of that. Didn't manage to get that very well, but it's okay. You have the assist on as well, so all is well. They did get the they did get 1 kill to RKP, so that's always good.
Right, you can't disrespect the Vi. She still has that ultimate. You have a Leona down there with a Solar Flare as well. Super locked up. As we get some action in the mid lane, Flash is coming out from both mid laners as we have another Grand Skyfall from Pantheon. He is everywhere at any given time. As we see a little bit more fighting in the top lane. Top lane really the only thing going well for Rascal Jester right now.
Yeah, but now they know that Grand Skyfall is going to be down for a while, so Arfo did pop his ultimate right there. I do think, nope, Dominus is still open up for stake as he has not popped it at all. But he's going very low. Both sets are going very low. But I do think Arfo might be able to win out this one. At the same time, let's regroup and see what's happening right now, because if you're a Vi player, Rainbow on Vi, there's only one thing that you really need to learn on the Vi, and that is the Flash Bolt Breaker. You need to know how to land those Flash Bolt Breaker, because her ultimate Assault and Battery is a click and point and click. It's
hard to miss.
It's not hard to miss, and it's a point and click. So, but we have a lot of action going on in Dragon.
So this is going to be a really interesting fight here as the Dragon gets taken by Vi. Vi actually gives her life to that Dragon. Another interesting play as we do have some action in the top lane. Stake going really hard. Ignite taking on Arfode as well. Will it be enough to...
Oh! The Ignite doesn't
will not be enough.
Wow! Arfode right there. Oh, and Stake is going to... Oh.
This is going to be real interesting. Stake looking for that kill. Arfode trying to get away.
Oh,
the Q misses.
Oh, he
actually causes
for
the flash. Flash for a kill.
Stake really wanted that kill.
Stake in the situation did yeah, you're right. Really wanted to pick that up, having lost 2 times already. That's going to make the lane tilt a little bit back in favor of Stake here.
I don't know why Arford actually went back for that.
Yeah, you got to think, is that a situation you back out of?
Especially against a Renekton, he can slice and dice and just stun you and just kill you right off of that. Arfo. He could have really snowballed his lane, but unfortunately, they managed to do that. But at the same time, Vi did... Oh, the Grand Skyfall is going to land onto Rainbrain.
That was some really good zoning with the Gragas barrel there. Vi looked to try and get away from that Grand Skyfall. Didn't want to walk over the barrel, so had to stay in the middle of it. Unfortunately, they don't manage to pick up a kill, as all these lanes now are going to maybe try to reset a little bit. If we go back to that Dragon a little bit, YoeFW looked like they were going to pick it up.
That's what I want to say about...
Caitlyn was pushed so hard in her lane. Lulu as well was kind of back at her tower. They backed off, which allowed Rascal Jester to regroup and get there in time and actually steal that Dragon.
Vi is not known to be the best smite steal kill for junglers, but he did manage to pick it up. Did sacrifice his life for that. But even Dragon for a kill, I think that's pretty much worth it considering how far behind they are already. It's good to have that a little bit more of a gold advantage coming out. Although they are 4k gold behind right now, it's pretty significant considering this is only 18 minutes in the game. But they did sacrifice 1 kill over that. But on the other hand, Yoe didn't push for any other advantage for that. As we see top lane going in, Stake, Ball Breaker coming in. Oh, But
Interesting play. Steak knew he had backup coming, but he went down a little too early. That will, however, be one kill. Looking for a second. Ultimate comes out from Refrain. And so maybe Steak jumping the gun a little prematurely, but Rascal Jester does end up paying for it. No 2-for-1 exchange.
Explosive cast, killing off Rainbrain. Rainbrain is not having a good time right here. 2-4 for 2. And Pantheon and Gragas are just roaming around so well, positioning himself. Pantheon this game, Mountain on this game is just going crazy. He has like such good positioning as a jungler right now.
Right, even that time without the Grand Skyfall, knew where he needed to be. Steak just getting a little overzealous, thinking maybe he'd stay alive longer. They did actually see Vi coming up with a really good ward placement, but it was not enough. Steak actually opting for that early Hydra, which is, you know, do you build Renekton offensively? Do you build him defensively? Well, now that he has that Hydra, you can actually see him doing pretty well against Shyvana in lane. But that, like we said, in the long run, ends up being 2 kills for the YoeFW to 1 for Rascal Jester as the gold starts to spread out a little bit more.
Yeah, it's going to be... I'm really interested to see how the 5v5s are going to go in terms of team fights. I don't know if we're going to see a lot of team fights coming in. Considering how much Pantheon and Gragas is really roaming around the map, they don't look like they want to catch out a strong 5v5 team fight because they're so good at catching out people in lanes right now.
Right, well, and like we said, Pantheon sitting at 7-0. He's got the completed spirit item, he's got the brutalizer, and a ton of health there. You can see the Giant's Belt as well as 2 ruby crystals. So he's already going to be doing a ton of damage as well as staying alive.
Yeah, he's sitting on 2.2k worth of health right now. It's going to be really hard to shut him down, but they need to do that, right? RJ needs to find a way to shut that Pantheon down because Pantheon is such a highly skilled, he can skill really, really well in games, and you don't want a Pantheon to be skilling so well into the game. But let's look at turrets. It's 0 for 3 right now. So all the altar turrets for RJ have been taken down by Yoe, and they have not answered it in terms of turret advantage and objectives.
Right, it's really that objective control right now for the YoeFW. Farm, honestly, not that far apart. The biggest discrepancy right now is about a 9 farm difference in the mid lane. Or I guess 8 farm if you want to count the supports.
The hunt is being popped by
but
Sivir.
Here we go. This could be an engage. A nice combination from Sword Art. It's going to be on Lilibelt, forcing him to flash. And that's actually going to be a Gragas ultimate missing. And the Pantheon Grand Skyfall is going to be behind as well. So with the early speed boost from Sivir, maybe too much. Rascal Jester doing a really good job just to retreat, not take the full brunt of that engage. And nobody's died yet. But this should be a pretty decent push if they decide to for the Flash Wolves here.
Yeah, I mean, on the hunt was being popped, and whenever you see on the hunt being popped, you know that they are looking for that huge engagement. And now, turret's being sieged on by Yoe. Solar Flare comes in.
And that was a pretty good counter engage by Leona. However, there's just a lot of damage coming up from the Flash Wolves. Sivir's going to pick up the support, but a kill does go across for RKP onto that Pantheon, so that's shut down gold on your 80 carry. Great, but it's not over yet. As, wow, RKP looking for the kill. There's actually in the top lane, Steak going to pick Arvout as well, but RKP picking up a triple in the mid lane.
Okay,
wow.
This is really good for RKP. She positioned herself really well. She managed to get in and out of the fight. Managed to get that shut down onto Pantheon, Mountain on Pantheon. Did manage to get the kill onto Sivir as well. And another kill onto Gragas. So really, really good coming out from RJ in terms of feeding their 80 carry. She has now blue and red buff as well. So double buff going over to Caitlyn. Although in the top lane, Arthro did die to Renekton one more time. So it's 2-4-1 and 2-3-3 right now. So she was in the lead 2-0-0 at first, but has lost all four engagements in the last 10-15 minutes. Yeah,
so I mean, all things considered, in the mid lane, it's a 3-for-3 trade that you get the buffs and you get the shutdowns in terms of RKP. So that's going to allow him actually sitting now. He's got 2,000 gold ready to go back and finish that Zeal probably into a Phantom Dancer. But the question is now, who's going to be able to take this dragon? Everybody is in here for RJ, and there's Sword Art. Get out of the dragon pit. It's ours. And sure enough, that will be another dragon. So after the last one gets stolen,
Oh,
looks like
Vault
RJ
Breaker
might be going
missing
to be
again.
engaged. A lot of ultimates used on Sword Art here, but he still had his ultimate available. Will drop to Rainbrain, but now Stake comes in here as well. Mountain on Pantheon, taking a lot of damage though. Who is going to come out on top? Pantheon picks up a kill. Rainbrain another kill. That's actually Lulu going down to Sivir, and now Yoe, absolutely what Sivir is doing best, on the hunt for a few more kills here. Actually, that Leon is going to go across the stake. Rainbrain escapes with his life and a couple buffs, but this will probably be another turret.
Yeah, and that was
for
a
the Flash
4v5
Wolves.
as well. It's good enough to mention because Gragas was actually not in the fight. He's actually top lane pushing right now, and so I don't know. They wasted a lot of ultimates onto Alistar, onto Sword Art. They had Solar Flare, Bolt Breaker, as well as a Sudden Battery going on to Sword Art. I don't know if that's the...
So that's 2 ultimates for one person, and that one person was a support, Alistar, who's already pretty tanky and gains the 75% damage reduction with his ultimate as well.
Yeah, and Pantheon as well as Renekton just came in from behind it and completely destroyed the team, as well as on the hunt from Sivir just coming in. They did manage to kill off Pantheon again, I might add. So they know they can do good exchanges, trades in terms of team fights, but I don't know if they can successfully win a team fight.
Yeah, so Rainbrain has picked up a couple kills there. He's sitting at 4 and 5, and there's actually a turret in the top lane for Arcode as well. But right now, it's just the Flash Wolves kind of showing their superiority of taking objectives, handling the map. Team fight's pretty even, maybe going a little bit in favor of the Flash Wolves, but they're the ones picking up the dragons. You know, they pick up another second turret in the mid lane here as well. So
yeah, and the gold lead is just slowly just tearing apart. RJ right now, it's 38,000 to 45,000. That's a 7,000 gold lead. It's slowly, inch by inch, is getting bigger and bigger for them because they have all 4 turrets right now. So mid lane is completely exposed. So the next thing they want to go for is going to be the inhibitor turret already 25 minutes into this game.
right, and you can see the item build starting to differ a little bit. Sivir already has that static shiv to go along with her Last Whisper and Bloodthirster. Caitlyn's still working on her attack speed item here. In the top lane, it's straight up tank Shyvana. She has a ton of armor there with the Sunfire as well as the Warden's Mail. And then junglers right now has her Brutalizer and has her Spirit, but we're going to get an
Grand
engage here as the
Skyfall's
Grand
coming
Sky comes, and RKP is not going to get out in time. So that's a huge engage onto the AD carry. However, it looks like it will be...
Oh, Pantheon is still alive! Mountain is still alive from that. The explosive cast does get onto a little bit, and Aquaman.
I was going to say we're losing Mountain, but he is still alive, absolutely, as the kills start going all in favor of the Yoe Flash Wolves. That's 3 kills. Nobody on the Flash Wolves is down, and it's not over yet. Never loses. It's going to pick up.
Lilibelle tries to flash and juke out, but went in the way that Sivir was coming back, and it's going to be the first ace coming up the game, going to Yoe Flash Wolves.
So not only is that an ace, that's a 5-0 exchange, which means here they come. Flash Wolves should be able to take this free Baron. I still cannot believe that Mountain did not go down on Pantheon in that fight. Actually picked up a kill before getting out. Baron buff is going to go across to the Flash Wolves here as well. And at this point, it's starting to look like the Flash Wolves game to lose. So
yeah, I think a lot of people are asking if you can do the colorblind for the game. Do you know where colorblind is?
yeah, we can try and figure that out. I think we're going to take a look here.
Okay, while you guys...
Everybody's, Flash Wolves are going back to base, so don't worry too much about it. And there we go. Sorry about that. Hopefully you can all see now.
So we are in the colorblind mode, so let's take stock of what's happening right now. So because Yoe Flash Wolf did take down a Baron, the goal lead has extended to 11,000 goal lead actually right now. So most of his goal is going on to... Yeah, it is going... Actually, 3 members of Yoe Flash Wolf has passed an 11,000 lead, and it's at least 2,000 or 3,000 goal lead
Over their
ahead
counterparts.
over their counterparts. It's a huge goal lead. Although Pantheon has been shut down twice, and RKP is going to be hit up by that Grand Skyfall. Who is this kill going to go to? It is going to go to Pantheon actually. I think they wanted to give the kill to Sivir, but Pantheon did manage to get that kill.
Yeah.
And it's still going to be a bash
Bash Fest
Bash
in the top
Fest
lane.
in the top lane. Although Artford has been losing most of his engages in the late game.
Pings coming down here in the bot lane. The engage coming up from Willowbell, but will it be enough? It's only 3 members of RJ here. Actually has to use the Solar Flare defensively, but a great explosive cast coming out from Refrain is going to help his team pick up 2 more kills, and everything is turning up Flash Wolves.
Yeah, that's what I mean by I'm not convinced by this Lulu pick, because all the wild growths coming out from Lulu has not been crucial to this game. It has helped them survive a little bit, but has not helped them to change the outcome of the fight. And we do see a surrender vote coming out. So first game is going to go to the Yoe Flash Wolves.
Yeah, so not changing the outcome of those fights, not changing the outcome of that match. It was fairly close there for a while at the beginning.
I think the only lane that was close was actually top lane, because Stick was actually losing his lane. Early game, he lost 2 kills very early in the game and gave Shyvana that lead. But eventually, he turned it around, got kill after kill after kill, and managed to just snowball that, especially with how Pantheon was helping him in the lane. I would give most of the credit to Pantheon, because he did roam around so well, had so much control over his jungle as well as all lanes, to be honest with you. And 如果你们有在问 Maple 在哪里吗 ？Maple 因为Maple 现在Maple 枫糖只有16岁对吗？然后因为闪电狼他们今年会参加那个 GPL 的 Spring Season， 然后每个队员要17岁以上才能参加，然后枫糖只有16岁，他还不可以参加，所以他被 replace， 现在 Refrain 会玩 mid lane， 然后 Jungle 是星源，做山客 Mountain 会玩 Jungle， 如果你们有在想的话。Alright, so first game is going to go to Yoe Flash, because a lot of people are asking, where is Maple in this game? So Maple, like I mentioned before, he's only 16 years old and he's not able to play in the GPL Spring Season 2014 because the Yoe Flash will finish top 4 in the LNL Winter Season and they have qualified for the GPL Spring Season. And because Maple is only 16 years old and you need to be 17 years old and above to play as a professional league player, and so unfortunately he is a substitute for them right now. Refrain has moved from the jungler to the mid lane, and jungle now has been replaced by Mountain, who has been showing really good stuff on that Pantheon last game.
Yeah, you know, you talk about such a good player in Maple, and then he has to leave the team, and they have to branch out, and they bring in, you know, Refrain moving to the mid lane, and Mountain, you know, if that's what he plays like all the time, that's a well-earned name in Mountain, because he was a huge presence in that game.
Yeah, I'm actually really disappointed in how Lulu was being played that game. I mean, we have seen some amazing Lulu plays coming up from even the Taiwan team. So Taipei Assassins had really nice Lulu plays. Even with the EULCS, Alex H had a really nice first game Lulu mid. Although he did lose the second game, but he did win the first game in Lulu. I don't know if it's going to be really nice for the Japanese teams to play Lulu again next game. Maybe Appaman wants to go back to his roots and playing that Orianna.
Yeah, and Orianna's not the worst pick in the world against a Gragas either. Yeah, I expected more out of Appaman, and I don't think we really saw Lulu play to her fullest potential there. In addition to that, we talk about, you know, Rainbrain. Where was Rainbrain that game? Obviously he was there, but I'd like to see maybe a bit more out of him. And I don't know how much that was his fault and how much it was just Yoe placing such good wards. They always knew where he was. They always knew, you know, we talked about Mountain being in the right place at the right time.
I think you have to create the rules.
Well, being in the right place at the right time can often come from creating those opportunities, and that's where those wards come from as well. So that really helped Mountain get ahead in the early game, and he just really couldn't be stopped. When a Pantheon gets ahead, he tends to stay ahead. Oop, nope. Oh, man.
But you have to create the room.
Yeah, I'm trying. I gotta press the right buttons. And I am not pressing the right buttons. I'll tell you that much right now.
Alright, so as we wait for the rooms to be created, let's talk a bit about what is going to go into the second game.
Yeah.
我们今天玩的是 BO3， 我们还有第一场，这是闪电狼，我们赢了第一场，因为 Mountain 玩的很好，然后我们现在在等 Chimpu the team members to join the game. All right, so
Was
I just went from English,
that
Mandarin
was that
to English.
Mandarin?
I have no, yeah. Give me a bit of time to warm up my Mandarin. But we are going to go in second game really soon. Just waiting for the for Corey to actually create the games because apparently
Fine.
now Corey is the Korean master.
Yes, I speak 3 Korean words, and I don't think I can say most of them on stream, so we'll refrain from that. But
Yeah, I mean, you know, that game, early game, was very interesting to see because I didn't expect Stake to lose the lanes as much as he did. He didn't manage to get back, so I think that's one point.
Yeah.
But Mountain has played that Pantheon really, really well. I don't know if it's going to be ban worthy. It might be. Might be, considering there's a lot of teams actually banning out junglers, to be honest with you, and so they might want to ban Pantheon out and maybe let Kha'Zix in, you know.
yeah, I don't know, if Mountain plays like that, I don't know if it really matters what champion they give him. But yeah, taking away that Pantheon, taking away that level 6 power spike of, oh my goodness, where is he? Might be a good idea, but then Kha'Zix just goes invisible and jumps on you from behind also. So, if we see both of those banned out, we'll have to see. We should be switching sides here as far as I know as we try and get everybody back into the game here. This is going to be game 2 of the YoeFW Wolves from Taiwan versus Japan's Rascal Jester, Japan's JCG Grand Champions. This will be game 2. First game going over to the YoeFW Wolves. And yeah, we're just getting everybody in the room ready to go here pretty quickly. Like we said, this is a really good chance for the Japanese teams to kind of see how they stack up against other really high-class, top-caliber teams.
Yeah.
Because the scene here in League, the scene here in Japan is still quite new. We've got almost a year, I think, actually, under our belt. But it's been very, very slow goings, so we take every chance we can get, really, to try and get out there, see what we have to offer. So this is kind of a chance for them to test themselves as we now wait for the Japan server also to open. Tonight we are playing on the Korean server, if you had not gathered as much from the Korean client. We've played on the Taiwan client before. We've had server troubles with connecting from Japan. I don't know if it's the players at home maybe just not having the greatest connections or what the problem is, but for whatever reason we've come to the compromise of, hey, let's play on Korea servers. About a 50 to 60 ping here from Japan, which is actually, like we said, better than what you get connecting to NA in Japan, about 120 to 150 ping. So
Yeah, we're just waiting for the teams to actually come in right now. So yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for Japanese players right now is just looking forward to the Riot servers is going to come in. A lot of people have been saying it's going to be the first quarter of the year. It's actually not true. It is going to be the latter part of the year.
yeah.
So we are looking at summer to fall. So all those people who has been thinking, oh, it's going to be out in the next month or two. Unfortunately, as much as we want it to be out in the next month or two, it is going to be coming out. I would say latter of the year. So it is going to be that second half of the year. It's not easy to get a server going. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of
League
work.
of Legends server.
Localization work.
Yeah.
You need your voice people. There's tons of things coming in, and especially with how much Japan is so vital and how quality is so important.
Right.
And so
It's
we
got to
want
be
that.
done right. So
Has to be done
gonna
right.
make sure everything happens right. But yeah, we're just about ready to go here. I'm Corey. This is Ferlin. Thank you for joining us. Say hi to the lovely Karga, who is hanging out in chat and also doing all of the technical stuff in on the stream. And as well as, we have another couple other moderators around. Rapid Casting, those of you might know him. He's a pretty cool guy.
I would say, yeah,
You know?
pretty cool.
So it's fun having him around as well. I'm a little self-conscious about the pocket on my shirt right now. Because apparently it's really big. I don't know if the shirt is big or if I got fat or what the problem is here.
What?
But it's yeah, I don't know. I guess it's huge. I don't have like any pockets for comparison. Like Andreas, what does your shirt pocket look like? That's about the same size. So, but yeah, this is the English stream. If you want to check out the Japanese stream, it's over at twitch.tv/JCGLOL.
Yeah, I want a big shout out to Rapid as well. Unfortunately, he's not casting with us today, but he's always welcome to cast with us anytime. But the man is really busy. You know, he has tons to do, and you know, whenever he's free, whenever you're free, Rapid, you can always cast with us. 我上个礼拜有跟闪电狼做访问，我有在我的 Facebook 里面有放上去，如果你们要看一下我跟闪电狼做访问的话，你们可以下面看一下。是闪电狼的阿生在访问我，就是问我一下我现在单身吗？什么时候开始玩英雄联盟？有玩什么别的游戏？然后住在日本多久了？那些问题，如果你们有要看的话，你们可以去我的 Facebook 看一下，有放那边那个访问，你们可以去看一下。Okay, alright. So I was telling people that I did an interview with the Flash Wolves recently. So they interviewed me, just asked me questions.
Wait, they interviewed you?
Yeah, they interviewed me on just
Doesn't that seem backwards?
I know. They just asked me about like questions about when I started playing League, what am I doing in Japan, am I single, stuff like that.
Whoa, the hard-hitting questions.
The hard-hitting questions, ouch. The really important questions. Am I single? That's the most important. Yeah, no, but I did it with them, so if you guys are on Facebook, you can pop to my Facebook and just look at it. Although you must speak Mandarin, though, because it's all in Mandarin.
Yeah, so I stay away from that page, but I don't know. That's what we do here. We keep the trilingual stream going for you. So.
Trilingual stream. Yeah, no, it's I'm
know.
horrible. I can't speak Mandarin at all.
You can't speak English.
People have been asking me. English is not her first language.
English isn't her first language.
Obviously, it's not. Obviously, I can't do English anyway.
Here's a hard-hitting question and completely off topic, but since we're waiting for the game to start, who, or I guess what, is your favorite class in Hearthstone? I know you've been playing a lot of that lately.
I really don't like playing Hearthstone. I'm so bad at the game. I don't know. And they... I did not say trash. It's thresh. Okay, I know the difference between trash and thresh. Okay, fine. My favorite class in Hearthstone has to be either mage or hunter. Maybe hunter or warrior. Yeah, I think I kind of fall off a little bit, but mage. I guess.
I mean, I guess the mage doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play anything else.
All right, but we are. All right, so you want to play Hearthstone with Ferlin? Watch out for her mage. But we're here for League of Legends. This is JCG, YoeFW Wolves versus Rascal Jester. We're going to jump in here to Game 2. Game 1 went to the YoeFW Wolves, but we do have picks and bans ready for you, so let's do it. Here we go. Ban 1, who is it? Let us know, Ferlin.
All right, so we are going to game... we're going to pick some bans phase. This is Game 2. The first game was given to the YoeFW Wolves. We're going to Game 2. And Yoe is going to be on the blue side this time, and the first band coming out will be the Thresh band.
Yes, you got it right.
Thresh band, and the first band coming out from RJ is going to be Lee Sin. It's going to be a little bit different because RJ is going to be the one that bans out Lee Sin this time around. They are going to... So, the second band coming out from Yoe is going to be the Gragas. Strange, I would say, because if they want to give it away, they would first pick it. So, I don't know the mindset of how it's going to be because... Yoe did so well with the Gragas in the first game.
Well, no, yeah, they don't want it to be first picked away, I think is what it is here. But I'm trying to remember if we've seen a lot of Gragas out of Appaman. I'm assuming he can play it because it's such a highly contested champion. But it's not something we necessarily see Appaman go to right away. You know, you think of Appaman, we talked about his Orianna, or maybe you see a Kale out of him. So... just making sure they don't take that Gragas away.
Yeah, I think so.
If they can't have it, nobody can have it. So. Yeah,
and then the other bands coming out will be the Cassidy, and at least nothing too crazy here. Kha'Zix is going to be the last band, so Pantheon is going to be available. Yasuo is going to be available, so they're going to lock in the last two. I think it says a lot when you lock in Yasuo first game, first pick, so you can really tell what kind of composition you're going to go with. You're going to go with a lot of displacement champions, so unless you're going to leave it to Yasuo to be the only one to do the displacement, which is not usually the case. So you're going to look at Thresh is not in there. So Wukong coming in probably for a really huge displacement spell. because Cyclone is so huge in terms of displacement
Right.
right
It'll
now.
be interesting to see if that happens. I really like what the Flash Wolves have done here. They've banned, they got the Lee Sin ban. They banned out Elise, who is another one of Oppomen's really strong champions. And so he's forced to go with Vi again, which is something he feels comfortable with, but did not do a whole lot for his team.
Yeah,
in game
I'm
one.
I'm very surprised at how they're picking Vi again, considering Rainbow didn't do very well in it. He had so many mistakes early game that really cost him the game in terms of mid game and late game. But a Silver pick coming is so good. It's so good. She's such a strong pick in terms of AD carries right now. So many people are banning Silver out actually, and so to have that pick, it's really good. I'm really interested to see how Yo is going to play. So they are going to lock in the Alistar and Zac. Zac is making a comeback.
Very, very fast locks in there. So.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It lets Stake die a little bit more without so much penalty in that top lane, having a little trouble against Arfode in game one. And,
I'm really
we
excited
don't see
to
a lot of Zac.
I love seeing
but
Zac.
I think it's a good pick.
I
Like,
love Zac.
he fits that top lane meta right now.
I mean, ish.
Ish.
I love Zac considering he is so fun to play with. We love Zac in season 3. He's so strong in season 3. A lot of displacement coming. You can see Alistar coming for the displacement, Zac coming for the displacement as well. So they are going to go for that really strong displacement.
Yasuo's going to have a great time.
Very, very great
Lot of
time.
knockup.
And on the other side, we are going to see the Lulu and the Renekton again. So Arfield is very comfortable with the Renekton pick apparently. Lulu, I don't know. I'm very, very I'm not convinced. Like I said before 1,000 times, I'm not convinced with the Lulu pick considering how of little importance he was to that first game. And on the other side, we do see Pantheon and Lucian coming. Lucian is a great pick. And Pantheon again, so I don't know if they want to deal with that Pantheon in second game. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, not surprised after what we saw at a Mountain in game one to see him play that again. Not locked in yet, but I would be very surprised if it isn't. That's obviously a champion he knows how to play and knows how to play well. Like you said, the Lulu pick, I don't know. I'm going to have to see something from Rainbrain here. This time, the Glitter Lance can be blocked with Yasuo's Wind Wall. So it will be Arfode on Renekton, another champion he knows how to play well and just played against. So a champion he should know how to use as well.
I like the picks coming out. I'm very disappointed that they went with Pantheon and not Wukong, because I would love to see Wukong instead of Pantheon, because we've seen such a great Pantheon in the first game. I want to see how Wukong is going to be really impactful with this game, but unfortunately they are going to go with the Pantheon pick. Last pick is going to be coming out for Lil Bout here. We're not sure what he's going to go. Yeah, in terms of the mid, where are we using that?
Who are we looking for?
Lil Belt.
Supposedly a support, unless it's a support
Supposedly a
Lulu.
support.
But-
Oh, it is
but
going
there
to
we
be
go.
a
That's
support
why.
Lulu. That's why. Okay, so it is going to
Lulu
be
can be
the
used as
Karthus.
a support champion. Who knew?
Who knew? Yeah, so it is going to be Aquaman on Karthus. I love this pick. I am so glad to see Karthus back in the mid lane. We see a lot of Karthus in top lane. NA plays a lot of Karthus in top lane. Not necessarily right now, but there was a good. Karthus is a champion in season 2.
Right. Well,
Very strong champion in season 2. Dropped off considerably in considering how strong the mid laners are in season 4 2014 meta right now.
well, and Karthus is really good against Yasuo because you cannot stop. You're gonna taste the rainbow. Those Skittles go through the wind wall.
Yeah, because
So-
it's not a projectile.
Exactly. So this is a pick I've seen a couple times when people say, "Hey, I want to beat Yasuo." The question is that why Oppomen is picking it, or can Oppomen actually play Karthus? Well, we're gonna find out. Overall, I really like the team again for the YoeFW Wolves. You mentioned, there's no jungle Wukong, like they don't get his ultimate initiation, but you have the stun coming up from Pantheon and Alistar, Zac, and Yasuo. That's more than enough knock up. That's going to be like high school prom night all over again. Everybody's going to be knocked up. So as long as they manage to get a lot of damage
Oh my
on Yasuo. Like he's gonna have no
Um,
problem getting his ultimates off in this.
Yeah, I like Yoe's team com in terms of initiation. They have so much initiation coming from the team. You have Let's Bounce. I have not said that in the longest time. Zach with Let's Bounce coming. You have Pantheon's Grand Skyfall. You have Ellie to really knock someone into a team or out of the team. It's so great. It's such a huge initiation coming out from Yoe Flash. And in terms of RJ right now, they're playing a little bit more defensive. You know, you have Karthus. So Karthus can do one of two things. You can initiate a fight with Requiem, or you can end the fight with Requiem. So if you want Upperman to really skill, you want to finish Requiem off at the end to really get double, triple,
Pick up those
quadra kill off
kills.
of that. Or you can initiate with Requiem and to get that huge burst of damage coming down from Requiem, and to have Dominus being popped by Renekton, get into the team, get to the back line, and kill off either Yasuo, which is going to be really hard, or that Lucian.
Right. So and it's a good pick also in the sense that when you're playing against the Yasuo, Yasuo really excels at basically deleting the enemy mid laner from the game. And with Karthus, it's okay to die. Because of that passive, you're going to be able to still be a factor in those fights, whether you still have that Requiem available or you're just dropping Skittles and defiling all over the place. So that'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But like I said, overall, I really like these picks coming out from Yoe. We saw how strong Mountain was on Pantheon. Lucian does a ton of damage as well. There's a ton of damage on Yasuo. So it's really going to be, you know, do they get the magic damage from Zac? And Zac does a pretty good amount of magic damage even when
Yeah,
he
I mean
builds tanky.
he can build tank at the same time. So let's go through. If you guys are not you know, really sure why we keep saying Mountain is actually Pantheon Huiyuan. That's actually Pantheon. That's actually Mountain because he doesn't have a Korean account as of yet. So actually he didn't borrow. That's his account, but he didn't change his name. Okay, right? He
Right.
didn't change his name because he just got into the roster of Yoe Flash Wolf. He was just recruited as their new jungler because Refrain, aka
Today he is on
PHX01 is actually Refrain. He was their jungler and he moved to the mid lane because Maple Fengtang was actually being moved to substitute because he's way too young to play in the GPL Pro League tournament series. Therefore, PHX01 is Refrain.
There you go.
And Huiyuan, it is Mountain. So if you guys are wondering why we keep saying that, that is why. We
Good
are
explanation.
we are going to go into game. We're just into the loading lobby right now, so give us a couple more 1 minute or more.
All right, yeah. So I think, you know, we just did go over some of the players, but for those of you just joining us or those of you who maybe aren't familiar with the scene, you know, who is who? Here we go. We're going to jump in for Rascal Jester. In the top lane, it will be Arfode playing Renekton. In the jungle, it will be Rainbrain on Vi again in this game as well as he was in the first game. Oppaman will be playing Karthus in the mid lane. And rounding out RJ is this time Sivir going to RJ. It'll be RKP, one of his strongest champions. And Lilibelt will be playing the support Lulu, so we won't be seeing the AD, yeah. I wish we were seeing AD carry Lulu, but not the mid lane Lulu, the support Lulu. And I think we kind of covered the Flash Wolves, but
Alright.
should we run through them again, or we think
Yes,
we're okay?
We're
You want to do
okay.
it?
Let's just run through the Flash Wolf again. So in top lane, it is going to be Stake on Zac. In the jungle, it is going to be Huiyuan, aka Mountain, on Pantheon. And in the mid lane, it's going to be PHX01, aka Mr. Refrain on Yasuo. And in the bot lane, it is going to be Never Loses on Lucian and Sword Art on that Alistar. This is game 2 of the JCG International Showmatch between the Taiwan team, Yoe Flash Wolves, and the Japanese team, Rascal Jesters. We are going to go into game, ladies and gentlemen.
Ikimashou! All right. So now that we've got everything ready to go, we're probably going to see that level 1 again, which is basically let's stand around and wave at each other from opposite sides of the river.
Yeah,
But-
it's always a
oh.
dance, you know, when, like,
Ooh.
it's bad mana if you actually, like, hit somebody, but then again, be like, oh, he got first hit, so he's gonna be have the lead
Yeah.
in the game, but it's just usually just gonna be a stand around. Look at that stick animation, so adorable.
Alligator meet flubber, flubber meet alligator.
I'm surprised that no one is, like, talking about steak with steak. So, like, if Alistar dies, any time in the game, it's going to be, like, steak eating steak.
stake.
makes sense.
Wait, when Alistar dies?
Yeah, 'cause Alistair's a cow, right? And the stake
Oh.
is top laner, so,
So,
it's
but
like
I
don't
I
know.
get it. I get
get
it.
it?
I
Okay.
see.
it's like probably it's like really bad example or
There's
Many
something
understand something.
there.
There's
We'll,
something-
we'll figure it out.
there's something there, but we're not sure what it is. But okay, level 1, no big engagement. We're not going to see a lot of action coming in there. There is not going to be a lane swap as well, so it's going to be the bot lane to B2, and top lane is going to be
A
as
nice little love
usual.
tap coming out of stake there, so that's going to start the beef in the top lane.
BM, tons of BM coming out. You don't hit then someone first. You can already see Opperman trying to. Oh, Yasuo actually using both of his swords to actually put a little bit of damage to Opperman.
Yeah, a little bit. That was a lot of damage already coming out. And that's the power of Yasuo. You talk about early Yasuo maybe not so strong, but early Karth is not so strong either. And with the mobility you get from that dash, all over the mid lane already, pushing poor Opperman back to his turret. As we actually see a bit of damage coming out from Renekton in the top lane as well. So other than that, things are pretty standard. Again, I think it's maybe the Sivir, but this time we will see the fast push coming from RKP Sivir as they are going to push Lucian, Never Loses, and Sword Art back into their own turret. But in the meantime, Karth is just doing his best to try and farm against that Yasuo. It's so hard because Yasuo is such a strong champ, and then when you want to practice against him, he's banned all the time anyway. So, but Opperman thinks he knows what he's doing. We'll have to see if it works out. There's nothing else really happening around the map at the moment. Both junglers looking for their giant wraiths, as now we might maybe see some action.
Opperman actually getting a lot of points coming down. He actually has to use one health pot as of yet. So lane advantage going to Yasuo very early, considering the health pot is really used so early in this game. So Steel Tempest and dash being used a lot, to put down a lot of poke onto Opperman very early in the game.
All right, and this is something we actually saw last game from Yoe, the push in the bot lane and allows your jungle to come into the bush. Last time Rainblade was there to counter it. This time, Mountain nowhere in sight. We'll have to see if anything goes down in the bot lane. However,
Pantheon's
Mountain
actually going
looking
top.
for something in the top lane. The knock-up, that flash coming out.
Flash coming out
Arthur
from
has to
Pantheon
flash
so
away.
early!
It won't even
First
matter.
blood.
It's just the pressure, the thought of a gank is more than enough. No assist is going to go across to the Mountain, but that will be first. That will be first blood for, I guess, the Goo, if we want to call him that. Good start for YoeFW Wolves.
Yeah, very sad flash coming out from Pantheon, Huiyuan, Mountain right there, but they managed to get an assist, so that's never good. You wasted a flash and get no assist off of it? I don't know. So that's going to be really good coming out for RJ, but they did not see that flash.
Yeah, so they don't know it's down necessarily.
They might have caught it because the minions were there, but I don't know if Arthur was like running and still managed to catch that flash coming out. I would say RJ do not know that the flash was down.
As we see Sword Art trying to be a little bit of a bully, although Never Loses taking quite a bit of damage from RKP Sivir. Both of these champions just trying to stay healed up. Of course, Alistar has the heal. Lilibel only has the shield, as we do have pings coming out as Rainbrain being caught out in his own jungle, actually. YoeFW is doing a pretty good job of just bullying people around.
Yeah, I mean, RKP's Boomerang, Ricochet doing a lot of work very early in this game, as Opperman getting more and more poke from the Yasuo, even though he's a melee champion.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting as we actually see the engage coming out from Sword Out. A really good combination. Exhaust coming down as well. Never Lost is going to be exhausted as well. And now Lilibel trying to put the hurt back on to Never Loses. A lot of damage coming up from the Lulu.
Ball flash coming out, and Lulu does pick up the kill onto Never Loses. Wow, both flashes coming out from the AD carry and the support from each team.
At the risk of sounding a little snide, Lulu already in this game doing a lot better than game one. That's going to be an early kill there for Lilibel this time, actually.
The spell should really saving RKT's life right there.
Yeah, that.
Wow.
And the nice thing is, even though it does go to your support, you know, RKP's still going to pick up the assist on that, and they don't lose anybody in that exchange. So, really good for them in the bot lane, especially with the way RKP never really got going in Game 1. Starting to try and get that ball rolling a little faster here in Game 2. As we do see a possible engage out of Rainbrain in the mid lane. Kind of dancing around in that river. Yasuo actually going really deep, so this will be
Yeah, and there's
gank
no minions
out
there
of
for him to
Rainbrain.
dash anywhere. But nothing happens at that. The Vault Breaker does hit onto Yasuo, but doesn't manage to do anything of that because, you know, Upperman, Karthus, it's really hard to get a execute off of him, if that's a correct thing to say. But oh, look at that! Using the ultimate from Yasuo, but doesn't manage to get the execute onto Karthus in the mid lane.
Right, so not a ton of damage yet. However, he's coming in. It's not over yet. Rainbrain is here.
Rainbrain coming in from behind!
Doesn't actually have the ultimate yet. A good knockup from PHX. But Refrain, maybe a bit of a mistake there. You know, trying to keep Rainbrain away, stopping to use the knockup on the Q, and it actually left him in range of that turret hit. So,
got
trying to go hard.
2 to 3 turrets
And got Karthus walled, and now the mountain is between a rock and a hard place. Stake
Ooh,
here
Alpha
as
coming in from
well,
behind.
however. Ultimate coming from Stake, but this will be ultimate. Will it be enough? Stake picks one up, and actually Karthus is going to pick one up as well, though, so it's a 1-for-1 trade.
Very, very
And
nice.
never loses.
Oh,
Goes down to
Lulu
Lillipeld
gets
again in the bot
another
lane.
kill.
Some really good tower management. RJ's bot lane looking a whole lot better already here in Game 2.
RKP and Little Bell is doing work. They have such good synergy right now. Although the kills are going to Lulu, it's okay. I think it's okay for the kills to be going to the support. I think a lot of teams are be like, no, it's never good, but it's okay as long as the ADC does still get that, the assist off of it. But there was such nice play coming out from Rainbrain just now. So with Rain on Yasuo, got a little bit too confident, right? And dived too deep onto the turret and didn't realize that, you know, the Rainbrain is going to be around the corner and took 3 turret hits off of that, died to that.
Right.
And
That when a Karthus wall slows you down underneath a turret, it doesn't really matter if Vi has her ultimate available because it was a pretty good pickup. So we actually do have a pause in the game now. We're just going to make sure everything is running correctly. But we will be looking to get back into the game shortly. If we take a look around the board really quickly, I think we might actually jump back into studio. So you can't actually see this, but if you were paying attention, RKP on Sivir has already picked up the BF sword to never loses Lucian's Vamp Scepter. So that was one reason they were able to bully so hard underneath that turret is because Sivir already had that BF sword.
yeah, BS also early, and the thing
20 farm and
yeah.
the assist already, just putting that.
Ricochet, we're going back into game. Ricochet and Boomerang is doing a lot of work onto Lucian, even though he has Alistar there to heal him back up. Lulu doing a lot of work. I'm very impressed with how the Lulu is working out in the bot lane right there. We did see that gang coming in onto the red buff of RJ right there, but Upperman did manage to get his first kill with the Requiem coming down onto that. Even though Stake got a kill off of it as well,
Right.
he did flash away from that. So it's a 1-for-1. You know, it's a kill for a flash. Not the most worth, but top lane got flash right now.
Right, and so the thing is, putting those kills and assists on Karthus, Opperman sitting at 1-0-2, while he's trying to get that tier farmed, is starting to look really good for RJ. Yasuo on the other side, 0-1-0, is obviously stronger. He has that Zeal right now, and if they were to fight, I think in a one-on-one situation, could probably beat Karthus, but...
yeah, because Karthus doesn't have straight-up CC. He has a wall, but there's no straight-up stun. Oh, Pantheon
Speaking of CC on Karthus, here comes the Pantheon man drop, and that will be more than enough. The
and
stun
the flash
from
coming
Pantheon.
out from Pantheon, too. He did not want to suffer under the turret, that's for sure.
No, not at all. Well, not with the Karthus there. We saw what happened last time you engage a Karthus under turret, not risking it. But that will be the kill. Going on to Mountain again, so getting the proverbial boulder rolling for him, so to speak, as he tries to trek his way to the summit of Pantheon glory. But in addition to that, Yasuo picking up the assist. So that's going to be big. It's going to help Yasuo really get back into the game, because that's the one other thing about Yasuo is even if you shut him down in lane, he can go to other lanes. He picks farm up. He's going to come back mid-game, late game, and be pretty darn strong. So
You see
really
Pantheon in the bottom lane trying to get something out of that. But you have to know that Grand Skyfall is not available now.
No, it's not. And with Pantheon down there, he's not the only one. Vi taking a visit to YoeFW's jungle as well. But here comes Refrain on Yasuo.
Culling being used to just clear out the wave there. So it's another ultimate down. So there is no Grand Skyfall and there is no Culling as well. So this is a good time for RJ to really have that push onto bot, but Rainbrain is actually going back already, so I don't know. I thought that would be a really good opportunity for them to really get a good push onto bot lane, because we now see Pantheon moving back to bot lane. Even though Rainbrain is coming back down, Grand Skyfall will be up by the time he comes back into lane.
Yeah, so this is Refrain and Mountain moving down in the bot lane. The engage already coming up from Alistar, and it's so big. RKP is going to disappear. He's going to try to make mention of the fact that Rainbrain was on his way and Oppaman had his ult. There was the Oppaman ult, but there was absolutely no damage to go along with it. Rainbrain couldn't make it in time, and Sword Art really made that happen. He's been really, really good on Alistar.
Yeah, I don't know. And now we see Oppaman getting a little bit too, you know, because he knew that everyone was bot lane, so he tried to get something back in terms of just pushing the lane a little bit more, getting a little bit damage onto the turret, but it didn't work out for them because they're such a mobile team. YoeFW, they rotate back up and killed him off of that.
Yeah,
so
Stake doing that really good rotation into the mid lane, knowing his team was going to do Dragon.
2 kills and a dragon?
Yeah, so I was just about to say RJ's really setting the pace for this game, and then now I'm forced to eat my words because Yoe flips everything on its head, picks up 2 kills with Dragon, and Yasuo is doing some pretty hard farm at that turret as well. So, again, there's the gold swing back now in favor of the Flash Wolves.
I think that's a huge mistake from RJ in terms of not using, you know, the fact that Grand Skyfall and Culling was not available to actually push the bot lane, and now Lilbout is getting chumped down by Mountain as well as Neverlose. Neverlose splashes out of that.
Yeah, so Lilbout actually forced to use both of his summoners and just about baited RKP to his very own death as well. They're real lucky Karthus is on their team and not on the Flash Wolves, because they both escape with very, very low health bars. And with Pantheon now Mountain in that bot lane, it allows for a 3-man push on that turret. I don't expect to see it up for very long.
That's so sad though, because they had a good lead in the bot lane, and now they're just losing it because they don't know how to control their lanes very well in terms of how the jungles are rotating.
Yeah, that was just poor play. That was Lilbout just getting caught out in a situation where he should not have been caught out, forced to blow both of his summoners, and actually trying to get the help from RKP caused RKP to blow his barrier and flash as well. So 4 summoners and no deaths, but 4 summoners and a tower. Not looking good for Rascal Jester now in that bot lane. As here comes Refrain in the top lane. Oh, the knockup just misses from Stake. Got to find some way to let Refrain get the ultimate. Looks like they're not going to dive under the tower today. As it's not quite over yet, though, because Refrain's going to stay up there looking to maybe either make something happen or put a lot of damage
doing a lot
on
of
that
damage
turret.
onto Neverlose as well. Oh, we see the dive coming in from them, and does manage to take him down.
Okay, the next one using his Dominus will not be enough. However, in the bot lane, it's going to be the bot turret falling. So RKP picks up a turret and a kill.
His first kill of the game.
Yeah, you can milk those. Sorry about that, Sword Art, but that's going to be a dead Alistar. That I guess you're right. That is where Stake comes from. So.
Oh God.
But that is going to be very helpful for RKP. RKP picking up the first kill for himself in the game, sitting at 1-1-2. 25 farm up on Lucian as well.
We can see the counter jungling coming out from Mountain already, taking off that red buff from RJ's red buff camp.
So they actually trade red buffs there, because Rainbrain does a good job of picking up Mountain's red buff. So nice friendly red buff trade. However, well, all of that was going on, Mr. Yasuo in the top lane picking up another turret for the Flash Wolves.
Here it is, static shift completed as well. The AD carries are doing pretty well for themselves, but but RKP on Sivir is doing a little bit better, as we can expect from a Sivir. So he has 112 in terms of kills, does have the Bloodthirster finish like Lucian has, but does have the burst SMGs instead of the tier 1 boots that Lucian has.
Right. And it'll be interesting to see now how Rascal Jester can respond. Looks like Flash Wolves might be trying to put a little pressure on the mid turret, but without Pantheon and Lucian there's not a whole lot they can do. You actually see a lot of wards all over the map right now for both teams. It's actually a lot of wards in both red sides of the jungle. I really like what Rascal Jester, they've completely lit up.
Yeah, they've
the
lit
Flash
up
Wolves
both
jungle.
jungles. Oh,
But it might
we
not
see
matter. Here comes Grand Skyfall in the middle. Here comes Zac. Here comes the cow.
Lilbel.
And there goes Lilibel.
Lilibel just completely gets deleted from the game in a span of like 2 or 3 seconds. I think Lilibel was confused on like whether to go forward or backwards into the Grand Skyfall. They at the end decided to go into the Grand Skyfall, and he knew he was gonna die from there. He still used ultimate Wild Growth onto Sivir though.
Right, and Sivir actually used her ultimate as well, so on the hunt down there as well. But there was nobody there to follow up. They lose Lilibel, and RKP is the only one there. That's not a fight you want to go into. So they lose a member of their team and a turret. And right now, all the lanes are pushed in favor of the Flash Wolves. You can see RKP doing his best to try and keep this bot lane pushed. But now that both of these AD carries have their Bloodthirsters, as we actually might see a little action in the top lane, Rainbrain pondering whether or not this is something he wants to do, but Stakes having none of it. Doing a really good job of just being everywhere he needs to be. I really like the way Stake has been playing this game.
Yeah, you know, he's not losing in terms of to a Renekton, which is really, really good. 4-0-1, he's doing great in this game.
He's all over the map, and you can see Mountain here actually forced to flash away as the Assault and Battery comes out from Vi, really far away from the rest of his team, but the ultimate coming out from Opperman, will the Requiem be enough damage? RKP is really at full health, as they actually have a fight in the top lane. I can't even tell you what's going on here, but it will be Opperman going down to the likes of Stake, as we're not done in the bot lane. A pause comes out.
Pause coming out.
Rainbrain taking a lot of damage. A flash coming out on Never Loses. What else can I tell you about that you can all very obviously see on the screen right now? RKP, a lot of health, doing a lot of damage with that Bloodthirster. And
Rainbrain is going to go down to this.
Yeah.
Rainbrain most probably going to go, unless he can Vault Breaker out, which I really doubt that he can. But, you know, it's really interesting because Renekton actually went ahead and started with a Spirit Visage instead of a Sunfire Cape, which all Renekton does. It's interesting because I've never really seen a Spirit Visage first item built for a Renekton quite as much.
Well, it's something you see a lot, and I can sort of understand it going up against a Zac. But look at the rest of this team. It's a Pantheon, it's a Yasuo, it's a Lucian. So he's playing straight up for lane, and even then it's doing him no good. Last game we saw Stake building that Hydra right away, going for the kind of offensive Renekton build. This is the defensive Renekton build, and you either start with a Spirit or a Sunfire, but not working out for him so far. The Sunfire actually completed on the other side for Stake. Like you said, he's 5-0-1 right now, so really carrying hard. Down 20 CS, but when you've got 5 kills...
I like how it's paused right when Rainbrain is about to die. It's like showing him up. Dude, you're gonna die, and we're gonna prolong your death, right? But yeah, I think I'm not sure what the pause is about because we're not at a offline event. It's all online, so we don't really know what's happening with the pause.
Potty break.
Hopefully,
No, I have no idea.
Hopefully we'll get that sorted out really soon. But as of now, it's going to be a pause. 8-5 in kills and a 5k goal lead.
Yeah, so that's 4 turrets to 1 already for YoeFW. Same as last game, just doing a really good job of taking those objectives.
Yeah, I think what went wrong... Oh, and we are going back to game. Rainbrain lives! No, he doesn't.
Minions OP.
Minions killed him from there. Oh, I didn't even see
You were so excited, too. You thought he was going to get out of there.
I thought he was going to get out of there. I'm like, oh, nope. I was lied to. I was
You
like
lied
to
to
believe.
yourself?
I was like
Li-
to believe that he
led
was
to
gonna
believe?
survive. Nope.
Well,
Still
that's
died there.
so that will actually be Never Loses going down. However, Rainbrain goes down as well, and that kill goes across Never Loses. So it's actually Lulu right now sitting at 3-1-1, carrying the team from that support position, but not a whole lot of items to show for it because obviously when you're the support, you just don't get no respect. You got no farm, 6 farm on there, trying to keep up with the rest of his team
No,
in terms of
I think
gold.
what happened with the bot lane for RJ was a huge mistake coming up from them. I think after Lulu got the second kill, they had a strong lead in that lane and they didn't capitalize on that, which was really sad. And they just counter snowballed them.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. We talked about Yasuo. He was 0-1-0 earlier. He's now sitting at 2-1-2. So he's starting to do well for himself. Static Shiv, Bilgewater Cutlass finished as well. He should be sitting on a decent amount of money. Yeah, he's at 2,000 gold right now. So he has just backed. He's finished his Blade of the Rune King now as well. I never want to meet Yasuo. It doesn't really matter who you are. Once he starts getting going, it's hard to stop him.
Yeah, things are looking a little bit dire for the.
You know, it is only a 5,500 gold lead. It's only 3 kills, and despite all that, like what we saw out of the Flash Wolves last game, and now what we're starting to see, once they get rolling over this RJ team, when things really start to take a turn for the worst. And I think that's what we're seeing now. It'll be interesting to see what the Flash Wolves have to do, if they're just going to try and wait for RJ to make a mistake, or if they're going to press this advantage. It looks like we might see something in the mid lane.
Yeah, and like last game, the CS difference is not that big, except for top lane 133 to 171 with Stake and Afro. Is other than that, the CS has been very balanced for both teams. The goal lead has been coming in from those 4 turrets, as well as the dragon control coming out from YoeFW.
Yeah, so you can actually see both teams again. Just like take a look at the ward placement. That jungle is entirely lit up. It's the Times Square of Summoner's Rift, if you will. There are wards everywhere, and so Rascal Jester is very aware right there of the YoeFW Wolves taking away their blue buff.
They don't want to be caught out in any way possible, and so excuse me. Oh god, I just coughed into the microphone. That must hurt for you guys. But you know, they don't want to get caught out. You can see a lot of wards coming out from RJ, which is really good because they have good ward control, which means they're never going to face check into one of those death bushes.
Right. Well, and we said lots of wards there. Actually, 2 sweepers now for the Flash Wolves. They're doing a good job of trying to sweep out as much of that jungle as they can. Putting real good pressure now on both the mid and the bottom lanes. All of the champions really rotating around. Lucian keeping that mid lane pushed up against the Karthus. Looks like some pings going out in the mid lane. It will be a question of, can Sword Art make something happen, as now Arthod and Little Bell are going on Refrain in the bot lane. Here comes RKP as well, the knockout. But Zach is here as well. There's going to be a lot of damage going on Arthod. Actually will manage to take out Refrain. Stake going pretty low as well. Kill going across to Mountain. This is absolute madness. Here comes the ultimate. Will not be in time to pick up an assist on Pantheon, but this will be a dead
passive.
Stake. Nice little fry from Karthus, and with those passive bloblets being popped, medium rare, that's how they will enjoy their Stake today. This actually ends up being a 3-for-1. So
Never
really
Loses is there. I don't know if he wants to 1v1 a Sivir right here. And Afro does come in from the back.
So the
I don't
barrier
know.
popped. Will they be able to pick him up? Never Loses
Oh my word!
good job coming back
that
in.
Sivir down.
He
Wow.
will pay for it. Does pick up the Sivir. I don't know. 2 assists go across for RJ for the Never Loses as well. So arguable whether or not it was worth it. He might have just said, I don't know if I'm getting out of this.
1v1 Never Loses wins. Lucian actually wins a 1v1 against Sivir, and we see a disconnect coming out from Refrain. Yasuo, hopefully he gets back into the game real quick. It looks like they have little bit of a disconnection problem with them today.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll get that figured out. I really hope that wasn't the cause behind any of those fights. Because really what it just looked like was Yasuo kind of getting caught out, pushing. There were a lot of pings going down in that mid lane, and it called the rest of the Flash Wolves to that mid lane.
The worst thing is when they disconnect or they connect back to the game. I don't know if they're disconnecting or connecting back because look, I don't know if that's connected.
He did something.
Or disconnecting. They're reconnecting?
We believe they're reconnecting.
I don't know.
It's usually pretty hard to disconnect twice without reconnecting.
I don't know. I wasn't concentrating
So-
on like who's getting in and out of the game, but. Most important thing here, never loses 1v1 RKP and does win off it, even though Arfoot was there, calling that was popped up there, and I don't know, he was very desperate for the kill too because he flashed in for that kill.
Yeah, he used his flash and his barrier, so I don't know if that was just making sure he managed to get something out of it, knowing his inevitable demise, his very own culling was coming shortly, so trying to take somebody along with him. But it ends up being a really good exchange for RJ. It's 11-10 now in terms of kills. A little bit of gold going back in the pockets here for Rascal Jester.
Yeah, it was a 5k goal lead before, and now it's slowly dwindling down just by a couple of hundred gold.
Yeah, Oppaman and Rainbrave both sitting on 2,000 gold here, ready to take that on a shopping spree. Whether or not it's going to be maybe some brand new shoes for Vi, or I don't know what
It's going
Karthus
to
is
be
going
really
to
good for Karthus.
pick up, work towards that beautiful purple hat.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to. I don't know. He has a Tear of the Goddess, so he's
Yeah.
not going to look to get a. I don't know. I thought he would be working towards a Zonya's Hourglass to really get into the middle of the fight, of the engagement. But he's not going for that. He's going for the Tear of the Goddess. So we are looking at a different build for Karthus here.
Well, he does have that Rod of the Ages completed, so it might not be the armor you get from the Hourglass, but it does beef you up a little bit. And I wonder if we can actually take a look and see how far along he is.
So he
with
wants to go for that Sarah's Embrace.
that Saracen Brace. He's at 564 out of 700, so or 750. So it's really only a short time coming before he will have enough to get that stacked. He just has to finish buying that item, and that's going to be a pretty big power spike for Karthus, both in terms of his damage and his ability to stay alive using that shield in these fights. I don't know if we've really seen a big 5v5 team fight so far. Even in that last one, it was people getting caught out and kind of paying the price for it. As we do try and make sure everybody's reconnected to the game, taking
Yeah,
a
I'm
look,
just gonna get out of the game to see
check
if
and make sure
everything's-
everybody's
yeah.
okay. All right.
Hui Yuan is
The
Mountain?
mountain. For those of you asking, those of you may be wondering, he's not using a mountain
Right,
account.
so I've got the latest from YoeFW's coach. They say they have a little bit of a lag problem from them on their side, so we're just gonna wait for them to really connect back in. 如果你们有在看的话，台湾的朋友们在看的话，我们现在闪电他们的对方有一些 lag 的问题，我们就要等他们回来进去游戏里面。我们现在有 pause， 我们在等应该是等会员跟Oh no, we are going back into game. 没有，我们即将会开始游戏。Okay, let's just go back into game and see what's happening.
All right, so everybody get your bearings reset up here. Flash Wolves with about a 4,000 gold lead. Farm pretty even across the whole board. Arfoed actually sticking it up with about 50 extra farm, but the kills in favor of Stake in the top lane. As now we maybe look to see the kills and the assists going a little bit in favor of, the Flash Wolves, but it's really those towers now, 5 towers in favor of the Flash Wolves, giving them that gold advantage. 9,000 on Yasuo to 7,500 on Karthus. 80, actually 80 carries pretty even here. So Sword Art actually getting caught up by 3 members of Rascal Jester. This surely will be a dead cow. No, the flash coming out, and they don't have the damage to follow it up. Assault and Battery comes out from Rainbow, and it will pick him up a kill, but it does put him underneath the turret. He'll walk away with that with the Lulu shield. Stake looking for maybe a little bit of grilling action here on the back end as the Grand Skyfall comes in as well. Here is Refrain. They're putting a lot of damage onto Oppaman. He's huge from the wild growth coming out of Lulu. This fight is not over yet. Mountain is going to be dropped by Arfoed. A little bit Arfoed maybe looking for a little bit more. RKP here now as well.
After the extended fight, it is a 2-for-1.
Yeah, so that, again, going in favor. RJ really trying to make things happen. They're going to look for this middle turret as well. Lucian never loses, going really low from those silver boomerangs. Are they going to tank this? It looks like they will. They should. A lot of damage coming out now with the Last Whisper on RKP as well. Lucian still trying to pick up that Triforce. So right now is when RJ has to capitalize, and that's exactly what they did. They pick up a 2-for-1 as well as that mid tower. Really good fight coming out of RJ. I'm not sure if it was the best idea
Oh, and we see another disconnect from boys.
for the Flash Wolves to re-engage. So it looks like they maybe are disconnecting here as well. I don't know how much of that they can really blame on Leg, because that was a grand Skyfall. It was a stake ultimate into the back of the team. But now we do have lots of disconnect coming out. It'll be interesting if we see a pause, because right now it's never loses versus the world.
Yeah, okay, the pause comes out from there, so we're just gonna wait for them to. I think it's happened with everyone. I just don't know what's happening. Like, no matter which server that we're playing in, it's always going to have a couple of connect problems. Yeah, but let's take stock of what's happening in the game right now. So 12 for 12 in terms of kills, 41,000, 38,000. So the goal lead has been dwindling down bit by bit for the Rascal Jesters, and RKP is slowly getting back into the game. 3-2-6 right now.
Yeah, and so like we were just talking about that, right now with the Bloodthirster, the Last Whisper, and the Zeal, is just going to be doing a lot more damage than even the Sheen, and Phage on Lucian. So not taking a whole lot of damage in that last fight either. When you can keep your AD carry alive, it's always a good thing. I'm not really sure what happened. It was Sword Art actually going to ward up towards that dragon and ran into 3 members of RJ. Spelled his demise. He flashed to try and get away from it. A good assault and battery follow-up from Rainbrain's Vi, and it took Alistar out of the fight, who, even you're sitting at 0-2-4 Alistar, you're the support, you're forced to buy these wards, these sight stones, still has a huge presence in team fights with his ability to displace units. And so with him gone, it was already a pretty good fight for RJ, and then the Flash Wolves tried to go back in.
Yeah, and Karthus, Appleman, is going to almost complete his Sarah's Embrace. It's now 644 out of 750 in terms of how many skills we'll use. And so he's going to transform that into a 7th Embrace really, really soon. I'm really looking forward to how he can be a part of the team fights a little bit more, because it's 1 for 4 and 4. Not the best in terms of a... we always see a lot of deaths coming out from Karthus, but you hope to see a little bit more of kill participation or kills.
Yeah, so like we talked about, a pretty good start for Karthus, going 1-0-2. Has not picked up a kill since, grabbed a few assists with that ultimate, but ultimately it's going to come down to, in terms of mid laners, right now Yasuo is having an impact. Obviously, you can't say Opperman is not having an impact, because he was focused really hard in that last fight. Lilibelt doing a good job of throwing his ultimate on him there as well. So he's drawing the fire. It's just Karthus is always kind of that ticking time bomb. He's got his Rout of the Ages. He's got his Saracen Embrace. His AP is just going to continue to go higher and higher, and that Requiem is just going to continue to get scarier and scarier. Is he going to get to a point where he's really this deciding force? Who's going to step up right now for RJ and really carry the game for them? It's all kind of all over the place. You look at the gold for the Flash Wolves. Yasuo, Lucian both at 9,000. Stake real close to that 9,000 mark. For Rascal Jester, RKP does have 9,000 gold, so RKP has kind of hit the mark to go along with the Flash Wolves. But however, everybody else, Karthus barely at 8,000. Arfode on Renekton also very, very close to 8,000. One thing I think Rascal Jester can be really happy about is the Mountain has not been nearly effective.
And we are going back into game.
But there's still plenty of time for him to do that. And we talk about Rascal Jester trying to make things happen. As soon as we unpause, there's a dragon for Rascal Jester. So closing that gold gap even more. We're down to 2,000. So it's by no means over. RJ doing a real good job of putting themselves in a position to come back and try and take this game. And it looks like they're actually going to try and continue a push on this mid turret. A good time to do it, as Lucian was in the top lane. And we are actually going to pause again. So this is what happens when you do, international matches. You got to make sure everybody has good, stable server connections. And you hear a lot of complaints. People are like, the good old days of League of Legends when we would do all these NA, EU, and Korea NA, and EU, Korea, and China, and all of these international matches. They're all well and good, and they're a lot of fun. But not so much fun when the server doesn't want to cooperate. So obviously you don't want to cheapen a loss or a win. We want to make sure all of these players are able to connect, able to get here in game, and that's why we do see these pauses coming out. Apologize to you. I know you want to watch this. I know we want to watch this, but obviously, like we said, you don't want to watch Never Loses versus 5. Maybe you do, but from a purely competitive standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not talking too much. I'm actually talking to the coaches for YoeFW, because it looks like they have very severe lag on their side, which is I'm really not sure what's happening on their end right here, because I think 3 or 4 of the members have been disconnecting in and out of the game, considering all of them actually playing from the same place. Actually,
Oh,
they have
they?
the gaming house.
Oh, there you go.
And they are playing from the gaming house, so it's interesting to see that
The plot thickens.
just 1 or 2 members leaving the game when the rest is doing okay. Yeah, we just have to wait for the decision from the folks here if they want to
continue to
do this.
People keep saying Yasuo is OP, and it blocks the skill shot abilities. It blocks going through that wall. Maybe he threw one too many walls and got something on that LAN cable, stopping that connection from coming through. I don't know what the deal is here, but maybe we're seeing League of Legends bleed into the real world. I don't know. I can say other stupid things too, but Andreas is just going to keep hitting himself in the face at my stupidity, so I might refrain from that.
God, I'm not even gonna entertain you anymore.
Because there's a lot at stake here, guys. It's not even funny. It's literally just saying player names. But
oh God. While you guys listen to Corey's very sad puns, I'm here talking to the coaches, Leaf as well as Asen, and remember on what we can do with the games for today. And I will leave the terrible puns to Mr. Swanson here.
yeah, I'm out. I'm out.
You're out? Aww.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Oh wow. That's
I was trying to think of like mountain puns and like having Pantheon erupt, but
okay.
that has not happened this game, so I haven't been able to use it. And now that I've shared it, I'm out forever. But we're down to about 60 minutes of pause time. Really hoping we can get these guys back in the game. Second game I think has been a lot more fun to watch than the first. And at this point it's really anybody's game. Gold, I don't know what that says. That's a
Yeah, I haven't heard back from
lot of big red Korean letters.
I haven't heard back from the Flash rules as well on what we are going to do, even though I'm out of the game already. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's happening here. I'm sorry if I have to let you talk.
It's all right. We're gonna try and start up again. I swore the pause screen got a different shade of green, so I think I'm going crazy as well. But we have restarted the game. I think I see movement out of all members of the Flash Wolves, so I think they're all here. But that will be another turret for Rascal Jester. Gold lead 1,000.
Yeah, I don't know if this is very fair, but it's the decision of the team. It's not up to us to decide. If they decide that they can play with this, nope.
I mean, it is a friendly match, so it's not like a winner or a loser is going to go home with money or prestige. Well, maybe a little bit of prestige, but yeah, with the disconnects, it's just really hard. You can actually see RJ trying to do a little bit of sneaky here. and forcing a flash out of Yasuo, but this should very well be a dead Yasuo. Fortunately, Pantheon's not there to help, but RJ having a fun time running around from the side of that bush, and it looks like they might continue this push. Looks like Pantheon might be back in the game. Mountain, welcome back. Unfortunately, there is no minion wave here for Rascal Jester, so as much as they want to put damage on this turret, they're not really able to. Here comes Mountain, maybe trying to get back in the fray. Will they be able to push RJ off the turret? Never Loses doing a ton of damage on the little belt right here, and not a lot of damage going on to this turret. So they do lose Yasuo in kind of a nice little cheese play out of RJ, but if it works, it works. And a nice little amulet speed boost coming out from Lil Belt there as they come around the corner and basically blow up Yasuo.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just very distracted with
No, it's all
everything
right.
that's
Don't worry
happening.
about it.
I'm talking to the team in terms of, you know, what they want to do with this. But it looks like the goal lead has swung back to a 1,000 goal difference from the 5,000 goal difference that was about 5-10 minutes ago in the game. And yeah, Yasuo just being shut down a little bit more this game, but we still have a very, very, very strong Zac, 6, 1, and 2. He has been 8 of his 13 kills.
Yeah, and you can see he's got a lot of items going on there. His Sunfire Cape already completed, his Warden's Mail coming out, the Spectre's Cowl as well, and a little bit of magic penetration on top of that, and actually opting for the magic penetration boots. Which is a little interesting, especially having lost his tenacity on the ultimate. But when you've got that Sunfire Cape, you're going to be able to do a little bit of extra magic Sunfire damage when you've got the extra penetration. And when your team doesn't really have any other magic damage, there's nothing so wrong with picking up the Sork shoes.
Yeah, I mean, you can see Yoe actually staying together, but they are spotted by a wall.
Yeah,
And
so
so
this is the same thing that RJ just tried to do, but RJ did the right thing and brought a pink ward with them.
Yeah.
So they were able to sweep the area. Good luck trying to get RJ to come in on that. And here we go. Deemed close enough. Grand Skyfall comes out the jump out of stake.
He cancels the
And
Grand
actually,
Skyfall, actually.
Grand Skyfall sounds like a hotel, and it's definitely closed for business. But here comes Rain Brain going to re-engage as the ultimate comes out from stake. Doing actually a really good job of wrapping up the backline of RJ. Here comes the Grand Skyfall. Yasuo's going to follow the opposite, but a lot of damage coming across. Never Loses picks up a kill card. This
And
doesn't
then
matter. Here
Requiem
comes
comes
Cardis
out.
Requiem. That's going to be a lot of damage. He picks up a kill on Never Loses. Renekton is going to pick up stake. And that will be an ace coming out for RJ. So
RKP flashes for that kill onto Sword Art as well. Yeah, the first ace coming out in game 2, and it will go to RJ actually.
yeah, that was a really good job.
RKP is tanking up. Has to bury it for it too. Oh my word!
Not quite enough. That's going to be an execute going across onto Rain Brain. Not the worst thing in the world. He's got a little bit of gold to spend, and it will actually be an inhibitor. The death timer is so long here for the Flash Wolves. So, did you see what happened in that fight? Why did it go so poorly for the Flash Wolves?
So Grand Skyfall was initiated, then was cancelled, and Assaulted and Battery actually came down onto Yasuo. Yasuo did manage to get his Steel Tempest and his ultimate off, but was completely shut down by the other team, and they just slowly picked one off of one another. One off, one by one, and Stake managed to put down a lot of damage, but didn't manage to actually pick off as much as he wanted to be honest with you.
Yeah,
And
well,
RKT was completely left alone in that fight.
well, here's Flash Wolves trying to make the best of a bad situation, knowing Jungler actually being executed there and other members being very low. It's essentially a free Baron, so this is a very, very back and forth game. Flash Wolves showing that experience, saying, hey, we might have screwed up that last team fight, but we know how to control our way around the map. And again, that comes back to that kind of critical execute death onto Rain Brain. I think maybe he thought the shield after using the dash would keep him safe from the turret. It did not. No smite there for the Jesters, and that will be the Baron going across to the Flash Wolves. Gold sitting at about 200 difference, so it's anybody's shot now. It'll be interesting to see what happens. We saw Flash Wolves looking for that sneaky engage, were spotted out, and that's why Pantheon had to stop the Grand Skyfall. They saw it coming. They saw Alistar coming. He wasn't able to get in range. The stake jump out of Zach coming up short as well, which allowed RJ to back up, and then Rainbrain with a really good engage to come back in on that. Ping's now going around the Dragon. Arfode in the top lane, so if RJ wants to contest this, it's going to be a 4v5.
Yeah, I just got update from the teams as well. So Yoe looks like they have solved their lag issues and are going to continue with the game.
All right, well, that's great to hear, and it's good news for them as they do pick up a Dragon, so it's going to put the gold in their favor. However, there's the top turret. Arfo doing a good job pushing the top lane the whole time. And again, we talk about gold swings. Not really important at this point because everybody's really in the same place. Rascal Jester in the lead now as they're going to try and pick up another turret. 5 turrets apiece. Culling coming across just to get rid of those minions. The extra damage to minions is pretty nice. But here comes the next wave. Pantheon's actually forced to deal with the mid lane right now.
Yeah.
He does have his Grand Skyfall available if a fight will happen here.
Yeah, I think because of the inhibitor going down, stupid minions says, oh look at that, the bait coming in from RJ, but no, they actually wasn't sitting on a ward at all. But they don't want to risk any bad engagements from either side.
Well, right. The onus right now is really on Flash Yoe Wolves to make something happen. RJ has that inhibitor. They don't need to push. They can just wait out the Baron buff right now on the Flash Wolves.
I think don't want to fight that Baron buff.
Like I said, it's really up to the Flash Wolves right now to try and make something happen. They're pushing out this top lane. Pantheon doing his best to try and clear out that mid lane. We actually see some pings coming up from RJ on the mid lane. It'll be interesting to see what RJ does with this. If they try to maybe, I want to say press their advantage, but you don't necessarily want to fight a team that's Baron buffed up when the game is this close. As we actually see one more pause coming out here. Maybe just making sure everybody's connection is still okay.
Yeah. It's really interesting to see how the game has evolved. I mean, we've been talking for so long, you don't realize it's only been 33 minutes into the game.
I've been really engrossed in it. Honestly, I'm enjoying this game. It's been a pleasure to cast, and I can't believe it's been going on for 33 minutes. Interesting to note, last time I looked at the scoreboard, it was 12 kills to 12 kills.
Yeah, now it's 13 to 18. That 6 kills coming out because of the 5 kill that came off of that ace. First ace of the game going to RJ. We are going to go back to game 3, 2, 1. So
as we do jump back in the game here, it's kind of nice to point out Sivir actually sitting 4-2 and 11 now, so that's 15 of the 18 kills. Even if maybe not picking up the kills, being involved, has the Bloodthirster, the Phantom Dancer, the Last Whisper, and
you can see Yoe actually wanting to use this push because they have Baron buff. They need to push for at least 1 or 2 objectives right now.
There's only about a quarter of that Baron buff left, so they're going to have to try and make something happen with it. Pantheon does have his Grand Skyfall available as he runs up from the base. I do like where RKP is right now. Lucian sitting on a Triforce, a Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, and starting to build some defensive items. RKP saying, nope, I don't need defense. I'm looking to finish that Infinity Edge. We talked about Karthus as well. Has his Zanya's Hourglass, and here we go. Here comes the siege on mid turret. Pantheon is here soon enough in the fray. A lot of pretty good clear, honestly, out of RJ here. So it'll be interesting to see if the Flash Wolves can make anything happen.
Yeah, I wish the Flash Wolves had pushed a little bit more, considering they had Baron buff, because you can tell that RJ doesn't want to fight the Baron buffed up Flash Wolves, and they could have used that to their advantage and really pushed for an inner turret up at the bottom lane, or even a middle inhibitor turret.
Right, and that Baron buff is now down. Sivir's on the hunt just came back up as well, so I wouldn't be surprised now if we want to see RJ maybe make something happen. There's actually no ward coverage, so they don't spot Pantheon off to the side here, but means they also won't spot him trying to recall. Doesn't matter, a nice amulet coming out. Never Loses trying to do a little bit of bait work on Rainbrain there. It's not going to work. Stake actually is going to make this engage happen. Here comes the Skyfall, but nobody's going to be in it. It's just Karthus will be caught in the back with Pantheon, but the rest of RJ in the front line. Don't worry about the back line. Steak doing his best to take RKP down. That's going to be huge for the Flash Wolves. But he's going to go down as well. Opperman picks up Mountain. Here comes the ultimate. Will it be enough? A lot of damage coming out. Refrain going down. It's currently a 3-for-1 in favor of RJ. It's just Sword Art and Steak remaining alive. Arfo is going to try and follow this up. Ooh, Opperman just catches Sword Out with the wall. And then the Randuin's coming across as well, actually flashing. But that's going to be a 4-for-1. Another really good fight for Rascal Jester.
What happened was that Let's Bounce coming out from Zack didn't actually manage to zone out anyone except for RKP. He did manage to zone out RKP, but you don't want Let's Bounce to only hit one target. That was Yoe not coming out with the greatest of team fights, because I don't think the ultimate for Yasuo was even played that game. So Last Breath wasn't even played from Yasuo. That he is still Tempest and Windwall and what. He didn't actually have Last Breath being used in that. So I don't know. That was a very confusing fight coming out from the Flash Wolves, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Yasuo on the back line of that. I really liked how Rascal Jester reacted to that. Zack came in, Steak came in with that jump, with the ultimate, and instead of saying, oh no, we got to get out of here, they said, okay, we're running at you, which meant it only left Opperman in the Mountain, the Pantheon ultimate, while the rest of RJ was up in the face, taking care of Never Loses and Refrain's Yasuo. So I like what's going on here. I like that Rascal Jester now has 2 Randuin's Omens completed, a ton of armor against this team that's almost exclusively attack damage. 2 Sunfires as well coming out, so all you have to do is get in the way. And the damage output now is going to be huge. The Infinity Edge being completed by RKP.
Ooh,
and Steak, that's not a good place for you to be. A lot of damage coming out. Here comes the man drop. We're going to have another fight. RKP trying to get here as soon as possible. Steak in the middle of things.
Opperman popping his Zonias right there.
Very early at the beginning of the fight. And the thing is, Opperman doesn't actually have his ultimate back up, but it doesn't matter. He will pick up the kill on Steak. Rainbrain going low as well, but this fight's not over yet. RKP full health, Willabelle pretty full health. Here's the ultimate, comes up, uses it right as it's off a cooldown. Never Loses is going to escape with his life, but if you're not going to pick up kills, you're forcing people away, and nobody on the Flash Wolves is really going to be able to come back and contest this Baron, but they're going to have to try, because right now it's RJ. Pretty free reign of this Baron. All 5 members of the team up. RKP at full health, and here comes the Skyfall on top of all 5 members. Baron goes across to RJ. Will it be enough? A lot of kills coming out. Vi picks one up. Opperman picks one up. It's still a 2-for-1. Sword Art Never Loses. Going to have to try and walk away from this. RJ probably just going to try to back here. Make the most of this Baron buff, and the gold they got out of that extended team fight, 1,000 gold on 4 members of the team right now.
Wow, 5k gold lead for RJ right there. So 2 big team fights coming in the span of the last 5 minutes. And what happened that Steak was thrown out by 3 members of RJ. And he was the only death that came out from there, and RJ just completely dominated after that.
Yeah, so there's the Flash Wolves. They do pick up a dragon. It's kind of too little too late almost, as they're now just trying to keep themselves in the game. I don't know if just having a few connection issues puts you on tilt, but RJ doing a really good job coming back into this game. The damage right now, Karthus picked up a few more kills in that fight. He went down, but not before he was able to use his ultimate again, sitting at 578 AP, so a lot of damage coming out of him. Lilibelt running around making sure all the wards are cleared, and RKP now picking up a chain vest as well, so not too hard to itemize. That's the problem when you pick an all AD composition like the Flash Wolves here, as now they look to push in the mid lane and could very well push the top and bottom lanes as well. I wouldn't be surprised if right now RJ tries to force some sort of fight, but they do have to wait for Rainbrain to get here in this middle lane.
Yeah, I don't know. This looks like a RJ game already. You know, it's really Grand Skyfall was cancelled out of there, so going to be a short cooldown for Mountain.
Yeah, you can see Steak really wanted to go for it. He backed off when the Skyfall was canceled, but not this time. He's in the middle of things. Actually, a really good ultimate out of Stake this time.
Grand
Here
Skyfall
comes the
does come
Skyfall, and it will hit. That should be a dead Karthus Opperman going down now. I don't know if he actually has a Requiem available. Looks like if it was, it won't be used. And this is now going pretty well for the Flash Wolves. It's Rainbrain and Afro though available. This is Sword Art and Mountain. Sword Art's going to go down. Stake goes down, actually. They were picking up the Bloblets in the middle of that entire fight. It's only the Mountain left. Not like Gregor Clegane from Game of Thrones. He is running very far away.
Beautiful flash coming out from Mountain right there.
Does manage to maybe stay away. Will it be enough? Rainbrain looking for that Q. Will land. Here comes Renekton. Nothing to dice to. Only a slice. But it should be a pretty free inhibitor now as Death Timers 15 more seconds on Refrain's Yasuo. Sword Out at 30. Stake never loses at about 30 seconds apiece as well. 4 for 3 in favor of RJ, but they pick up
yeah,
the inhibitor.
Afro in that fight was big. So it looks like Yoe was actually winning that fight, but RJ came in. RJ Arford really came in from behind and took the fight by surprise. To be honest with you, the crocodile, the alligator is so tanky.
Yeah,
right
you
now.
take a look at that Spirit Visage, a Sunfire, a Randuin, and a Thornmail as well.
Yeah.
So he's taking all of that 80 damage. He's dishing back the 80 damage. And actually, Lilibel's Lulu now with a completed Randuin's Omen. So that's 3 Randuins for RJ. And there's only the one last Whisper on the side of the Flash Wolves. So there is, I guess, Pantheon does have his Black Cleaver, so there's a bit of armor shred there as well. But there's just so much. The attack speed slows are hurting characters like Lucian and Yasuo as well. And then there's just a ton of damage coming out on RKP. One noticeable thing, actually, Never Loses doing a real good job of farming now compared to RKP. But if you take a look at the gold, RKP still slightly in the lead. And in terms of items, they're pretty even. It's, again, that one defensive item is an armor versus a Megatron cloak. As now RJ looks to push in his top turret. A lot of damage going on the minions and the turret. They can actually take a few hits here with Arfod. He's so tanky, actually. Can we take a look at that? How much armor does Arfod actually have right now? It's 376 in addition to 3,400 HP. So if you're wondering why he's not taking a lot of damage.
The culling just came out and barely managed to scratch everything off of Arfod's health right there. Wow. I'm really surprised that RJ is taking so long to close out this game. Considering how much they've been winning the team fights, I think they're just dragging this out. And every time you drag out this game, you're giving Yoe, Flash Wolves, more time to come back to the game.
Yes and no. I mean, you also have like a Karthus on your team who's just going to continue to get bigger and bigger. And as Sivir as well looks to finish her items. I mean, both Lucian and Sivir are pretty scary as 6-item 80 carries, but right now I think the story is, I guess you're right, because they're going to be able to keep building damage, but right now Arfo just out-tanks everything.
Yeah.
And that's really allowing RJ to win these fights, but...
Yeah, and look at the timers right now. It's 1 minute to the next Baron, and they're just waiting. I mean, we have 3 Barons, and not even a second inhibitor being taken from any side. They are standing on top of a ward right now, so this is going to be good in terms of engaging for Yoe, but nope, RJ kind of figured that out a little bit. I don't know if Yoe Flash Wolves can actually win a team fight with Renekton around.
Yeah, I mean, so far we've been seeing these engages. Stake is starting these team fights, and they're not going well for his team.
You are right. Stake is starting all these team fights.
So it'll be interesting to see with Baron now coming up in 30 seconds. There's actually a mid push coming out from Flash Wolves, just trying to make something happen.
Stake is going to get caught up in that. Grand Skyfall is going to land onto 3 members of that. I don't know if this is going to be anything because Rainbrain is getting completely zoned out, but what about the other side? What's happening on the other side?
So
Mountain
Rainbrain
does go down.
manages to keep track of 3 members of the Flash Wolves, but now the question is there enough damage? Stake actually going to pick up RKP, which is huge for the Flash Wolves in this fight.
Opperman is going to go down as well. This is
Opperman goes down,
going
so this
great
is a huge fight. Wow, they're going to pick up another kill, and that will actually be an
Oh
ace
wow,
now.
that is going to be an ace, and it's
5-for-1
5
exchange,
for
so the
one.
Flash Wolves turn that around. Looks like they're just going to push. The death timers are so long. There are minions here, and your 80 carry is still up. This might be a complete turnaround for the Flash
oh
Wolves.
my god, this is going to be a GG.
Apparently, a planned engage with Stake is never a good idea, but if you can get him caught out, that's how you win your team fights. This will probably do it. It's 20 seconds on Vi, 30 seconds on Little Bell. Everybody else, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Second Nexus turret is going to fall, and this will be the Nexus turret. So after RJ puts up an amazing fight, all it takes at 45 minutes with super long death timers
my
is
God.
one team fight to go wrong. And that will do it. Game 2 going in favor of the Flash Wolves. Congratulations to Taiwan's Yoe Flash Wolves. Well played game in game 2. A lot closer, a lot more fun to watch.
A lot closer, a lot more
And
fun to watch in terms. There's a lot of disconnects, a lot
a
of pauses.
disappointment, I think, for RJ.
I don't know. I mean, wow. I mean, that Stake being caught out turned to be the best thing that happened to Yoe Flash Wolves for them. So Rainbrain got completely zoned out by 3 members, but what happened was Mountain did had his G8, so his G8 was popped, and so
Right.
RJ didn't know what to do after that. They just get killed off one by one of that, and because of how late this game is, 15 minutes into the game, a ace meant a loss. I mean, we basically think that, okay, this is going to go to RJ, we're going to go into game 3. We were like, it's going to go into game 3. But, well, Yoe showing that they are
The more experienced team, I guess.
more experienced team.
Yeah, that was just
For
really
sure.
unfortunate for RJ. Nobody was able to follow up on Vi.
Yeah,
You know, Vi
yeah.
said, "Let's go in, let's do this." That's what RJ had been doing all game, was these really good like counter engages. We're saying, "Hey, we're not going to stand and fight where you want to fight. We're going to bring it to you." Rainbrain kept it up and fight in the last fight. Rest of the team didn't get that memo because they had a mountain falling on them.
Yeah, wow. I'm very surprised at how the game went at the end. I mean, it literally came down to that last team fight. It really came down to that one decisive team fight, and RJ just lost the game from there. It was crazy. I mean, Stake won the game for them in the sense that he was caught out. But congratulations to Yoe. I mean, it is a international, it's a friendly game. So I want to thank Yoe Flash Wolves for helping us, doing this with us. They're always very nice. Good friends with a couple of them. I want to give a big shout out to Four Leaf, Asen, and Mr. Remember for being so nice to us. We're always very good friends. We're always talking on Skype, and they even interviewed me for an article for their website about a week ago. So
Check that out. Is it in
yeah, if you don't know,
Mandarin?
it's all in Mandarin. So
Maybe not check that out.
if you don't speak Mandarin, I wouldn't say so. Thank you to our sponsors behind us, BenQ,
Yeah,
Rocket,
thank you.
MSI.
MSI Rocket.
Yeah, so, and I think that's all for us today, because
Yeah, I
it's
think
a little
that's
bit
it.
late. It's 10:30
It's
already.
10:30
I want to go
and
home.
we
I'm
have to work
tired.
tomorrow. Boo. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. That especially game 2 was a lot of fun. So
Yeah, 大家谢谢你们大家。我们今天直播了2个游戏，是我们表演赛，日本跟台湾的表演赛。日本的队伍是 Rascal Jester， 台湾的队伍是闪电狼。我要感谢闪电狼的人跟我们一起来玩这个表演赛。我要谢谢闪电狼的阿森、闪电来的事业跟闪电来的记得 Mr. 记得，我觉得你们大家都帮我们来做这个比赛。我们yeah, I want to thank them very much. 你们也是台湾朋友们，我有跟闪电狼做访问。上个礼拜有跟他们做访问，我有在我自己的 Facebook 里面有放上他们的访问。他们访问我，就是问我一下我现在在做什么，我几时开始玩英雄联盟这些东西。如果你有 follow 我在 Facebook 的话，你们可以去那边看一下。你们没有 follow 我的话，你们可以这个 page 下面里面有放我的 Facebook 的 link， 那边你们去这边看一下。Yeah, I think that is it from us today. I want to thank Mr. Andreas here, Mr. Karga, for being awesome as always. Thank you guys for
Can we see? Oh man,
for
good
being
try.
here all the time. We will see very soon. There's no fixed date to the next Premier League games because NA Service has been a little bit cranky lately. So yeah, we'll see you guys. Thank you so much. Have a great night, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We're gonna go back home. It's very cold in Japan. Thank you, Corey Swanson, for being here with me today. My name is Ferlin Yoshimi. That is Andreas, and this is Corey Swanson. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. So no, it was fun. She just said it, but I'm going to reiterate it because I think it's really important, whether it's you want to see more of her or you just want to see more of Japan League of Legends. Make sure you follow one of us on Twitter, on Facebook, because we don't have a set date. The date will get posted there. You can find all of the information you need to know there. Thanks for stopping by. That's really it for us tonight.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Yeah. This is Corey Swanson. My name is Ferlin Yoshimi. Have a good night, everyone. Goodbye.
See ya.
Nothing but stay frosty. That son of a bitch you got is hella dangerous, over.
My name is Dante. My friend's captive.
Like to Team Fnatic, I can recommend MSI.
I recommend Meta.
I recommend MSI series. That's all. Did you ever try to further